invite you to join us.
Making your smile their priority. Schedule an appointment today by calling them at 607-545-4148. It's now time for the scratches and injury update presented by the Court Gesture Athletic Club. And the scratches, same as last night. It's Yuri Hadak out with a scratch. Austin Thompson nearing a return as soon as possible. Expect him to be in Delaware on Friday next week with the team. Cam Yarwood serving the last game of his 4-game suspension, and Owen Liskowitz, third goalie, out of tonight's lineup. Kyle Powell is still nursing a lower body injury, walking around in a boot, and Gavin Yates does not have a timetable yet set for his return with an upper body concern. That's the update brought to you by our friends over at the Court Gesture Athletic Club, Binghamton's premier fitness facility. And now we get to take a look at tonight's starting lineup for the Binghamton Black Bears. And Alex, it's going to be a very big night, and tonight they go with Jesse Anderson on the left wing, Mac Lewis in center, and Jamie Bussell at the forwards. And starting on defense, it'll be Mathieu Boilar and JT Walters.
That's a big, strong lineup on your defensive pairing, and with your forwards, you've got some fast forwards there. I would not be shocked to expect an early strategy of the Black Bears to be a heavy dump and chase system, where even from the other side of the blue zone, have Boulaire and Walters dumping the puck in around the boards, allow Mac Lewis and those guys really get in after it, get in deep, force pressure behind Motor City's net, which we saw on 2 or 3 of the goals last night from the Binghamton Black Bears. They have serious issues with. And it's going to be interesting, Brooks. Ross Bartlett coming off his suspension from Motor City. He's their top point scorer and their top penalty minute earner. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of bite he adds to the game today.
On the other side for Motor City, in the left wing, it'll be Giuliano in the center position coach. Declan Conway over on the right wing. On the blue line, Sufredini and White getting the start, and Trevor Badman back in between the pipes for the Motor City Rockers. That's a look at tonight's starting lineups for both teams, and we will also take a look at the FPHL's out-of-town scoreboard before we get things started with the first period. Starting at 7 o'clock as well, the Carolina Thunderbirds are playing in Delaware tonight at 7 p.m. The Elmira Mammoth take on the Danbury Hat Tricks at 7 o'clock. That game in Connecticut. We already know that we are starting at 7 o'clock tonight, and Port Huron and Mississippi are getting started at 8:05 Eastern tonight. That's your look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We're going to take a final timeout, come back, and we will have Black Bears hockey coming up against the Motor City Rockers on a Saturday night. Military Appreciation Weekend, night number 2 is just about underway. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Fox 1430 in Binghamton. Welcome, friends, once again to another edition of Black Bears Hockey Brooksville with Alex Jones tonight on the call as we get set once again for night number 2 of Military Appreciation Weekend. The Black Bears skating over to the Zamboni door, bringing out the American flag that will stretch out blue line to blue line once again. The teams outfitted in the same uniforms as last night. The Black Bears in the Military Appreciation with the Armed Forces Seals, camouflage donned with the stars and stripes of our great country, and the Motor City Rockers outfitted in the black jerseys with purple numbers and a white trim. The third team on the ice tonight, the officials brought to you by our friends over at the Atlas James Construction Company, outfitted in the breast cancer awareness jerseys in black and pink trim as well. You don't get to see the referees donning alternate uniforms as much as you see other teams, Alex. And tonight's officials are the same ones as last night. Joe Testa and Kyler Spice, the referees. Corey Stahl and Steve Palenke, the 2 linesmen, as we get set for the pregame festivities. Here tonight, we have the Honor Guard presenting, and Officer Josh Reed singing the national anthem tonight in his uniform.
Petty Officer Second Class Stephen Pochak.
Second, please welcome you.
yawning. Somehow he slid all the way across, slamming the door shut on the Motor City Rockers forward.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to say thank you to all of our active military and all of our veterans and families of veterans who are in attendance tonight. We're truly honored to be able to sponsor this event, and would like you to give them a quick round of applause if you could.
Jake Schultz and Vaughn Clausen in the ceremonial face-off with our friends over at Lockheed Martin. And Schultz now 2 for 2 on ceremonial face-offs in his early captaincy days here with the Black Bears. And we didn't get to talk about it too much last night with so much going on pregame. But Alex, just talk about what kind of honor it is for Jake Schultz to be named the first captain in Black Bears franchise history.
Yeah, it's a huge honor to represent not only your team but this area. Got to speak with him earlier, Jake Schultz, about being a captain, about what kind of impact that is. He has just been taking it in full stride and just stopping and checking with the people of this area and getting to know the area quite well with his son.
We are officially underway as the Motor City Rockers, who did a good job in the face-off dot last night, win the opening draw, and they look to have the first offensive possession. Declan Conway, the former Thunderbird, will indirect it into the corner, but a good job gapping up for the Black Bears as will find the stick of Jesse Anderson, and the defense will get behind their own goal. Now Walters with the puck, takes his head up looking for an outstretched Anderson. They say no icing as it's tipped on the way through. Anderson first to it anyway with the drop pass, but nobody home. Mac Lewis might have overskated that one. Teams trading opportunities in each other's ends early here in the first minute, but no shots on goal just quite yet, as Motor City will dump and change. And it'll be Walters now. Wearing 21 in camouflage tonight as it makes its way all the way down to Trevor Babin, who will have to melt it down. And it'll be an offensive zone face-off coming up for Binghamton.
Excellent play by Sherman there to put the puck in. It took a really awkward bounce off the lower boards, popped up in the air. He gets it on his backhand and throws it directly on net, making Motor City freeze the puck.
Defenders will tie each other up, and the puck becomes available in the blue paint. D'Angelo had a whack at it. It's now going to be corralled by Mr. Hat-Trick himself. Tyson Kirkby gets it down low to Tyler Jurich. Jurich on the centering pass for 17 in camo, but gets handcuffed on the way through in the slot, and out come the Rockers. Skating with the puck is Artem Alekin, and the puck ends up directing off the backside of Riley McVeigh's net. All alone in the slot is Roman Gaudet. Throws a wrist shot on, in and out of the mid of McVeigh. First shot on goal, and one save for number 1 for the Black Bears, as Gaudet will just wrap it down around the boards. McVeigh will come behind his net and steer it on his backhand over to Sherman.
McVeigh looks very active in his net so far tonight for us.
Kirkby on the forward check as the high forward. Here comes Josh Newberg. We saw Newberg get involved in a late game altercation that sent him to the penalty box last night for 2 minutes for roughing. That also led to a Nikita Ivashkin game misconduct. Ivashkin watched the final 10 minutes of the game from the penalty box, only got to come out for the last 19 seconds. Black Bears tag up onside, and there's the aforementioned Nikita Ivashkin with a head of steam. A good move by Crofton to indirect Ivashkin's process as Newberg tries to go throw his way around the body. Tommy Cardinal throws it over to the left wing side, and skating down with it is Scott Koch, who has his shot deflected into the netting and out of play.
You know, as I said in the pregame, Brooks, Binghamton Black Bears look very active to dump and chase the puck, use their speed to force Motor City defenders not to get flat-footed in their own zone and try to force turnovers on the forecheck to make sure Motor City isn't comfortable playing in their own end.
It'll be an offensive zone face-off coming up for Motor City. They're in their offensive set. Sofredini keeps it in at the blue line here. Just slap it around behind the net, not trying to put that one on goal. Falls over into the hands of the Black Bears. They tried to find Ivoshkin, who was camped out. Play is on sides. Gavin Abbott with a wrist shot and a glove save made by Trevor Babin.
You have to think, Brooks, if that was a regular-handed keeper, that might be in the back of the net.
That's a little bit tougher to get that reaction with the blocker. Instead, you had your tracking mitt as Babin makes an early save. Shots are 2 for Binghamton, 1 so far as Fitzgerald tries to deke his way through a couple of Motor City Rockers dressed in black, and Fitzgerald gets his ice cut in half, and away comes Scott Koch with the puck. He tries to drag around Fitzgerald, but Fitzgerald gives no quarter. Abbott gets to the red line and will dump it for Ivoshkin cross ice. Ivoshkin sends his man down, and shaken up is Derek Sofrodini momentarily. Sofrodini wanted to get off, but he stuck out on the ice. On the stick now of Mac Lewis. Anderson gets down on the ice. Boilar with a centering pass. Second attempt, put on goal, but Babin will make the save.
Boilar trapped that puck, and Motor City just tried to clear the puck, and Boilar just reached out with his skate, trapped that one to the ice.
16:25 left to go here in period 1. Brooks Hill with my partner Alex Jones here tonight as Motor City throws it all the way down, and this one's coming back. It's the first icing of tonight's game going against Motor City, and the Rockers will not be allowed to change.
Hey, you know what? The Black Bears have been buzzing so far this game. They've been really aggressive, really getting after the puck. They have the puck deep in Motor City and most of the possession when they have it. As soon as they lose the puck, they flip around and look to forecheck. The Black Bears are playing very active and very aggressive there.
Mac Lewis, the Laker from SUNY Oswego, wins the faceoff back. It's now down low in the corner for Jesse Anderson. Anderson was the third star of the game last night with 2 assists. Didn't find the goal column, but it's always important for the Black Bears when Anderson gets on the score sheet in any way.
Yeah, you love to get an Appleton game. Even if you can't get that goal, you're helping your teammates score.
Down low for Jesse Anderson, a hot topic of conversation always for the Black Bears. He gets tied up with Mike Wynn down low as the Rockers will be able to clear the blue line temporarily. Binghamton will just get it at center ice and throw it all the way behind Babin's net. And Babin will set it up on a tee, and you're getting a look at Josh Colton with the puck. Jamie Bussell, the former Utica Pioneer, had a goal last night, his first goal of the season in his first game. Tied the game at 2 at the time as the Pioneer will get off the ice. Kirkby was looking for it. This will be icing against the Black Bears as Kirkby just took his eye off the puck for a mere second, and it skates on by him and gets past the goal line.
Yeah, Brooks, it was just a half second. Kirkby looked up to see if he had space. At that moment, the puck sliced right between his legs, nutmegging him, and he just wasn't able to leg it out to the line to stop the icing.
Offensive zone face-off coming up for the Rockers. They win it, and down low with it is Ross Bartlett, who did not play last night, serving a 1-game suspension. Now the puck on the stick of Tyler Jurich, looking for Kirkby on the saucer pass right in the slot. It's unattainable for Kirkby as it hops over his stick, but Kirkby with control of the puck right at the blue line, dragging around Brad Reeder. Brad Reeder throws it down low. That was Corey Sherman, 21 in camo, not in black. The two teams will fight for it down low as Faustin, looking for a friend to pass to, finally finds Bartlett, but he gets his ice cut in half. Wrist shot and a blocker save made by Babin, and he will deflect it into the curtain and out of play. We will step aside for our first media timeout of the first period. When we come back, 14:47 left to go on the clock. You're listening to Black Bears Hockey on Fox 1430 in Binghamton.
tries to set up the power play. Schultz at the top with a huge slap shot. Easy, another big rebound, Brooks. And Jurich has it at the top of the net, passes it off to Schultz, back to Jurich. Looking for a little help from Kirkby. Kirkby holds, moving in the top. Schultz to Jurich, Jurich to Kirkby, fake shot. Jurich just got a little bit out of position there. Jurich back to Kirkby, Kirkby and Schultz with the shot, down in low. Roussel holds the puck to the right of the keeper, deep in the zone. Schultz going for a change. Roussel keeps rotating in, looking for a friendly stick. Looks up top and drops off the puck.
Same power play unit out there. Thanks for Alex for filling in as we work through the technical difficulties. Thank you for being patient with us. Jurich a little bit too much on that pass for Kirkby. Kirkby with a hat trick last night has it down low. Mac Lewis, his former college teammate, doing a good job of boxing out in front of the blue paint, creating some extra space for Tyson. Boussel loads up for Boilar, and it's a directed into the corner by Babin as Boilar with that booming slap shot from a one-timing position puts it on target, maybe hoping for a rebound there, but with 20 seconds left to go in the penalty, Black Bears are generating some chances on the extra man offense, but yet to find the back of the net.
Binghamton has been able to do whatever they want so far this power play. They've got a lot of good opportunities, a lot of bouncing pucks, and a lot of coin flip 50-50 plays that are going to end up with some good scoring opportunities for the Black Bears. Let's see if they can continue that, Brooks.
Newberg wins the faceoff back as the second power play unit finds its way out onto the ice. Boilar choking down from his defensive position. Boilar now with a ton of space right inside the blue line. Wrist shot blocked on the way through. And now with the puck is Anderson, who will reverse it for Boilar. 3 seconds and 2 in the power play. And the Black Bears power play falls to 0 for 1 on the night. A wrist shot put on as Clausen will just wrap it all the way down the boards. The power play has expired, and this will be icing coming up against Motor City.
Yeah, Motor City's going to have to take all their tired penalty killers back, put them back on the ice, because that was a quick dump in, a smart headsy play by Binghamton. They looked like they had a little chance possibly to cut it off, but they really hustled, realized it was going to be icing, and said, you know what, we're going to keep these tired legs on the ice, force them to play against our fresh guys.
Newberg back out on the ice as he will win the faceoff back to Ivashkin. Ivashkin with it on his backhand, a ton of speed for number 8 in camo. Throws a backhander out in front. Puck is loose for a scramble, and Babin comes out of his crease and covering it up to melt down the action.
Yeah, they're putting Bartlett on. They're giving him the task of guarding Ivashkin. Bartlett is a little Tasmanian devil out there, a ferocity we have not seen since the Napoleonic era had this, their great leader in France. He is a guy who will get after you and get after you hard, and is always looking to make somebody pay, both either on the score sheet or on into the boards.
10:55 left to go in period number 1. The third line still out there on the ice, Newberg, Parker, and Ivashkin. Newberg loses this face-off. A good job by Brad Reeder to win that back on his forehand and set up a possession for Motor City. Black Bears stay heavy on the forecheck, though, with Ivashkin and Newberg still camped out in the offensive end. Motor City finally brings it out behind their net into the skates of Clausen. You never want to have a pass in the skates, but a good up pass to himself by the Tasmanian Devil himself, Ross Bartlett. Centering pass out in front, nobody home for the team from Michigan, and Ivashkin just does a good job of pressuring the puck out in front. This is offsides. Ivashkin's going to have to tag up as Bartlett will just chop it ahead. It appears the Black Bears maybe wanted to take an offsides there, but Bartlett just takes it right off the stick of Newberg.
A huge hit in the corner down here, Brooks. Lewis just buried one of the defenders for Motor City.
Defense turns into offense, and now Anderson with the puck, skating around, creating separation, throws a wrist shot on. It's available. No, it's not, and Babin had it the entire time. 9:53 left to go. Still looking for the game's first goal, and we will come back. You're listening to Black Bears Hockey on Fox 1430 in Binghamton. 9:53 left to go from the Jeff Kai's Auto Sales broadcast booth. Brooks Hill alongside Alex Jones here tonight. A little bit of a different start so far to the game. No goals quite yet, and Alex, this time, last night, there was already 2 goals in favor of Motor City.
Yeah, the Black Bears have been playing in a hyper-physical, aggressive game, trapping Motor City in the neutral zone and in their own end on a heavy forecheck. I'd like to see more of that from the Black Bears going forward.
Face-off won momentarily by Motor City. Jake Schultz does a good job of keeping it at the blue line. And Jesse Anderson going up against, it looks like Giuliano was the first one to the puck that time. In fact, it was Giuliano now.
Oh.
Circling back in almost a costly turnover, put a golden opportunity right on the stick of Jesse Anderson. And luckily for the Motor City Rockers, they get out of dodge. Ian White now throws a wrist shot, and McVeigh can't swallow that one up, but it gets directed into the corner. Always a safe play. Hard to score from the corner, even though we saw Tyson Kirkby do it last night. And Motor City will come all the way back behind their own net. And Gavin Abbott, the extra forward in tonight's lineup, and also an alternate captain, applying pressure on the forecheck.
Yeah, so far Binghamton's keeping up this pressure first period. Heavy pressure. Motor City really hasn't been able to develop anything they want because of how much pressure is coming from the Binghamton Black Bears.
Motor City running a defensive change right now, and look out for Tyler Jurich as he crosses his own net with a forechecker in front of him. Always a dangerous play, carrying the puck in front of your own net. You never know what could happen. MJ Merkel now will short-side it to Tyson Kirkby, who gets it deflected into the net, and we'll have a neutral zone face-off coming up with 8:37 left to go.
Yeah, that popped up. It looked like a little bit of friendly fire from Motor City. Going to center ice for this one, off a Motor City stick into their own bench, and we're going to center ice for the draw. The rare non-goal related center ice draw, Brooks.
Always funny, the referee only drops the puck when it is a start of a period, and the linesman drops the puck every other time, even including if it's a center ice face-off. That's a little fast fact for all you hockey fans out there who, once again, probably already know that. With the puck down low behind his own net is Colin Fitzgerald. The referee got caught behind the net and was just kind of holding on for dear life as the Black Bears were trying to clear the zone. Fitzgerald left it back at the blue line, but D'Angelo chips it ahead. Jurich in a little bit offside, so we have to tag up.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a pretty blatant offsides there. Fitzgerald just couldn't keep his skates going. He had momentum in the zone and just lost an edge for half a second, and that's the difference between flying in the zone with a one-on-one with the keeper versus faltering and having the puck squirt away from you, having to turn back and go back to your defensive position.
It'll be Brad Reeder and Gino D'Angelo facing off with each other in the neutral zone dot. D'Angelo wins it back all the way past JT Walters and behind the net of Riley McVeigh. And Walters got hounded on the forecheck, and there is a centering pass that is steered aside, and Motor City, not too many shots on goal so far, but they've had some high danger opportunities with just passes that just escape the reach of their forwards down low.
It was a very good play by a back-checking forward for the Binghamton Black Bears. Put a physical body on, put a big body on to the Motor City player, which caused the turnover, Brooks.
Booming slap shot put on by Boilar. Boilar will stay in the game as the forwards will change for Binghamton. Walters staying in the game as well. A couple of changes for Motor City. 7:31 left to go. Binghamton 14 shots on goal in period number 1. Only 3 for Motor City. Riley McVeigh not having a busy night so far. Face off one to the wing by Newberg, but nobody home for the Black Bears. As the Black Bears would just have to be content to get on the forecheck. Parker gets his stick knocked out of his hands legally as he was jockeying for a loose puck. Scott Koch with it now. 88 in black with a head of steam crossing the red line. Here, give it up for Conway. Conway steers off a hit, throws a wrist shot on, easily detected by McVeigh. Boilar will just clean up the loose change out in front, but the Black Bears not disciplined this shift so far in their own end.
Yeah, that was a really dangerous puck. Boilar put the puck around the net, bounced right, ironically, right back around to the other side.
McVeigh gets across, and there's that east-west direction that Coach Reynolds talked about in the pregame Tully's coach's corner. And perhaps the highest danger of chances so far for Motor City that last shift. It's not over yet. Conway will indirect it down low. All of his forwards were getting off the ice. He didn't get the memo. He hangs his head in disgust and will skate off. Camped out at the blue line is Brett Parker, who will just indirect it off the boards. And former Black Bear Contrado will reverse it for Roman Gaudet. Roman Gaudet now at the blue line, throws it past Mac Lewis, and Jake Schultz tries to chip it out of the zone. And look out, we have a one-on-one opportunity. Ivashkin trying to dance around Clouston, but Clouston does a good job of giving no quarter to number 8 tonight for Binghamton.
Yeah, Ivashkin tried another one of his tricks, and Clouston just said there, no thank you, I'm shutting the door on this. I've seen this one too many times tonight.
Sherman goes for a big hit, and Ivashkin gets sent down to the ice. That'll get the crowd agitated just a little bit. That's a clean play as Nikita will fall down to the ice. Loose puck kept in at the blue line. Maybe some choppy ice here in the final 6 minutes of the period. Jake Schultz now with it behind his net, takes his head up, tries to backhand it over to Parker, and Parker will be allowed to chip it out of the zone, forcing Motor City to tag up. Derek Makima throws it deep and into the mitt of Riley McVeigh, who will shake it out of his glove for Corey Sherman behind his own net. The Jurich line back out on the ice with D'Angelo and Kirkby. And Bussell now will up it down low for D'Angelo. D'Angelo wanted to reverse it, and D'Angelo does a good job of dodging a big hit coming from Tommy Cardinal. Anderson holds the line, and a good job from Fitzgerald keeping it inside the offensive end. Turnover, Jamie Bussell, and a blocker save made by Babin. Another turnover by Motor City in their own end leads to another opportunity for Binghamton. Anderson dancing with it down low. Back at the point for Merkel. Merkel throws a wrist shot. D'Angelo with it off the high rebound, and Babin might have got a piece of it, throwing it into the face-off dot. Motor City clears the zone. They're allowed to change, and Fitzgerald will keep the puck behind the net.
Brooks, I'll tell you what, D'Angelo had a golden opportunity there to put one in the back of the net, and I think he got just a little too excited, put the puck on a stick, and just didn't let it get to the correct spot to take the shot.
Fitzgerald centers it for Kirkby, and Kirkby throws a wrist shot that's detected by Babin, and a good back check by Jurich, though, comes up empty-handed as Mike Wynn tries to cross the line. This is delayed offsides, and a big hit laid on by MJ Merkel, sending Mike Wynn down to the ice. Wynn has a couple of words for Merkel on his way skating back into the neutral zone, but Merkel will skate off the ice, and he seems to be favoring his right leg as the puck gets deflected off of the shot onto the high glass. Played legally out in front, centering pass, but he scores! Tyler Jurich making the best out of a fan by Gavin Abbott, and the Black Bears are on the board first.
Yeah, Jurich stays, keeps his stick on the ice, gets to the net, stays where he needs to be. It was a quick fan by Fitzgerald, hits the blocker, lands right on Jurich's stick. No way the Motor City keeper can get there. Jurich buries it in the back of the cage. 1-0 beating the Black Bears.
4:09 left to go here in period number 1. It's 1-0 Binghamton as the Black Bears score first, something that they did not do last night. And it's Tyler Jurich having 2 goals in 2 nights so far. You get a look at the Hines injury replay. Abbott might have fanned on it just a little bit. Didn't put his shot on goal, but Jurich collects the loose change and makes the best out of a yawning net, and it's 1-0 Binghamton.
It's good to see Bussell out there too. After that change, he was favoring his right leg as he went to the bench. It's a good note for this Binghamton Black Bears team, seeing him back on the ice. He's one of the physical leaders out there, and he really sets the tone for the Binghamton Black Bears physicality.
We're taking a timeout, step aside. 4 minutes left to go in period number 1. It's 1-0 Binghamton. You're listening to Fox 1430 right here in Binghamton.
You're back.
Welcome back to the action. 4 minutes left to go. It's a defensive zone face-off coming up for Binghamton. Derek Makima matched up against Josh Newberg.
Newberg pulls the puck back, and we got a fight on our hands, Brooks. We got a tilt.
It's Matthew Boylard going at it with Elias Thompson. Boylard and Thompson trying to jockey for positioning on the fight. There's a heavy right-handed hook from Boylard. Now Thompson gets a punch in there.
But big right hands landed for Boylard so far this way.
Boylard trying to get any separation. There's the pushing and shoving. Take down for Boylard.
And that's a three-pointer for Boylard. Gets the takedown, secures the back. That's an easy win for him. I'll tell you what, Brooks, that is a big, big matchup, though, between Elias Thompson and Boylard. They were trading jabs, trading hands, and Boylard finishes it with a nice three-point takedown.
5-minute majors for both. 3:58 left to go in the first period as you get a look at the Heinz Energy replay. That was a design fight right off the face-off. They throw the sticks and the gloves down. Quite honestly surprised that they didn't take off the helmets too, just to make sure that the punches that they were throwing were gonna hurt.
I'm pretty sure, Brooks, in the Federal Hockey League, that is now a instant suspension if you remove the cap, just to prevent players, when you get taken down like Thompson did there, from falling, hitting your head on the ice. I know that's been a big issue with player safety that a lot of hockey leagues are trying to eliminate, and I believe the Federal Hockey League is in that as well.
1-0 Black Bears as we get set for another offensive zone face-off. Makima taking the draw, and it'll be Josh Newberg taking the draw control for Binghamton.
Brooks, watch on the face-off here. I think they're going to send Ivashkin on a shot down the end of the ice if they win this draw.
That's exactly what they do. Contrado tries to do his best soccer-style impression, and he saw the play coming. Newberg was able to win the faceoff cleanly back to Schultz. They go for the home run pass, maybe a little bit higher up in the air, and you're looking at a breakaway for Ivashkin. Makima throws a wrist shot that's shouldered away by McVeigh, and a cross-ice pass now for Ivashkin. Crossing the line on sides on his backhand, trying to come around, looking for Parker on the back door, but Parker got a little bit too close to the pipe and handcuffed himself. 2-on-1 now for Binghamton, and excuse me, that's Motor City. Penalty coming up. Referee signaling just a regular minor penalty. Thought that could have been a penalty shot there at the last second, and Mac Lewis is headed to the box.
That's going to be a hook on Lewis, but like you talked about with Coach yesterday, Brooks, that is the good penalties you want to take. That is the type you want to take. That was a 2-on-1 scoring opportunity, and Lewis really shut down the play there.
Lewis gets called for the 2-minute minor, and it'll be the first look at the Northeastern Striping Corporation penalty kill tonight. That's operating at 82%. 2 power play goals last night for Motor City. They now have 10 on the year. Now Sufragini at the blue line with it. Here trade places with Ian White. Sufragini drops it back for a winger. Scott Koch throws a wrist shot on and seen all the way by Riley McVeigh. And now Walters and Conway have a little bit of pushing and shoving, but it seems like the linesmen are going to be quick to intervene this time.
Well, that's because Walters got cross-checked from behind that the refs completely missed. Walters was standing in that, eyes completely the other way. Conway comes up behind trying to clear the net, gives him a full back of timber right on his numbers. You can understand why Walters isn't super excited about that.
96 seconds left to go in the penalty as the linesmen try to shave up some ice right in front of Riley McVeigh's net. They're going to get out the old water bottle and try to melt it down to where the puck will slide evenly. You don't ever want it jumping up in the crease and taking a funky bounce on the goaltender.
Yeah, Brooks, this is the type of thing that you really like to see from officials, taking care of the ice and taking care of the players. And you know what? You love to see what the Binghamton Black Bears have done so far. They've been very aggressive, very physical. We got the fight from Boylard, and it has been an electric evening so far in our second part of our Veterans Weekend.
Tyson Kirkby and Gavin Abbott, the two forwards on the penalty kill. Face-off is won by Motor City, but it appears a false start, and we will reset and do it again. Diving effort by Kirkby to try to take it away from Coach, and a horn goes off while play is going on. And Kirkby might have gotten away with a high sticking there as he tried to flick at the puck. He might have caught Zach Coach up high with a stick.
I think that's going to be a bit of an acting job by Coach there. I think it got him up in the rib cage, possibly underneath, but I don't think it got him up in the face. I think he really sold that there. Went down to the ice trying to get one of those acting awards. Horn is something that the off-ice officials would like to speak to the on-ice officials about, possibly recorrecting some time on the penalty clock. Maybe some time ran off, they needed to reset on the false start.
The Black Bears bench trying to communicate with the on-ice officials. They're looking up at the video board. It reads 3:01, time left in the period, and the penalty to Mac Lewis also reads 1:35.
Well, then that's a second in that entire span has come off. I think that's the issue that everybody's having here. You either give it to them at the reset to the 96 seconds, but because the faceoff was a legal faceoff, the puck was on the ice and the clock was running. You got to also account for the time that happened while the Binghamton Black Bears were cornering the puck in their own end. And like you said, Kirkby got the coach a little up high and caught him a little high, but a little bit also an embellishment job there by the Motor City Rockers.
Officials still trying to sort this one out. We have 3 minutes and 1 second left to go in the period.
They've now added a 1 second that wasn't on there previously.
So the penalty time now at 1:40, more time for Motor City's power play, which was connecting a lot early in last night's game. Connected on goals 1 and 3. Scott Coach throws it out in front, had a yawning net. Motor City ploying for an interference call as the puck was skipped into the netting, out of play. We have 2:44 left to go.
Yeah, it looked like Suffredini got buried there a little bit. Either caught an edge or was put down to the ice by one of the Binghamton Black Bears. I caught it right out of the corner of my eye, Brooks. I think, judging by Suffredini's reaction, the Binghamton Black Bears player caught him there.
It appears that we're all situated now on the timing issue. And face-off won back by Motor City. It's Ross Bartlett, fresh off of his suspension, back out on the power play. This is the second unit for the Rockers. They try to find Bartlett, calling for the one-timer. Too far, drifting away as Bartlett here have to throw it down low. Serving pass out in front and a broken stick. And McVeigh makes the save. And a partial chance for D'Angelo, who took a look at it. Schultz lost his stick as it snapped right in half, maybe on the shot attempt.
And D'Angelo fouled that puck down in case Motor City got lazy on their back check to jump in there and steal that puck away for a 1-on-0 opportunity.
McVeigh will get it on the high glass. It's always important when a goaltender plays the puck to get it onto the glass, get it elevated off the ground.
D'Angelo with a thundering hit on Bartlett.
Bartlett throws a wrist shot out in front, rebound. The Rockers will cash in and score on the power play. You could feel it coming as the offensive chances were generating here late in the period, and Motor City ties it at 1 with 1:57 left to go. Roman Gaudette cashes in on the power play, 1-for-1 for Motor City.
You can't give a team as good as Motor City as many opportunities on the power play as the Binghamton Black Bears just did. They couldn't get the puck out of their own zone. Bartlett throws it in net, and Gaudette buries it on the second chance rebound. And we got a tied hockey game, Brooks.
Face-off won back by Binghamton, and Walters will up the puck off the stick of Kirkby. They keep it in. This will be icing if it makes the line, but it appears that it will not, as Fitzgerald has to play it before it gets there. That'll be deflected off a hand by Tommy Cardinal into the Black Bears bench, and with 1:40 left to go, we're in a 1-1 contest and a neutral zone face-off coming up.
Yeah, the Black Bears need to step up here. We've seen the energy drop off a little bit since the fight, and we need to see the Black Bears come up and with a huge 1:40 left, push the pressure, push the physicality, and really get after the Motor City Rockers after this draw.
Binghamton will cross the line on sides. Jurich looking for Abbott. Abbott got a piece of it, but deflected wide of Babin's net. It gets past the blue line, and Walters will have to skate into his own end to retrieve it. Goes D to D with Fitzgerald, and Abbott will just backhand it in down low. Tyson Kirkby trying to get there. A high elevated puck right into center ice. Bartlett has it hop his stick, crosses the line, but retreats back into center ice as Fitzgerald skates around 1 and 2. Here comes Tyson Kirkby, 2-on-1 for the Black Bears. Kirkby makes it around one man, pass on the back door, and Jurich just sends it wide.
Just a little hair off for Jurich on that deflection. Kirkby put it right on his stick, and it just didn't have the right angle to put in the back of the net.
55 seconds left to go here in period number 1 in a tied contest. Motor City tying the game on the Roman Gaudette power play goal. And that is where we stand with now 45 seconds left to go. No icing as Sherman has to retreat behind his own net to claim it. He'll drop it back for his captain, Jake Schultz. Schultz now, head up, looking for Tyler Jurich, but Schultz will call his own number, tries to toe drag around the entire defense, and here come the Rockers the other way. Justin Giuliano crosses the line on sides, and he's sent down onto the ice by Jamie Bussell. Former NHLer Ian White thought about entering the zone, but instead will just drop it back for his teammates. They cross the line on sides, and Schultz has a hard time playing the puck, puts it right back to Motor City. Centering pass out in front, detected by Sherman. Sherman trying to force it out of the zone. Still in final seconds of the period. A good block by Newberg. And that is where the period will end. It's 1-1 after the first 20 minutes. And Alex, your immediate thoughts after 20.
I think the Binghamton Black Bears have outshot the Motor City Rockers so far. They've been very aggressive in front of the net. And this is 1 or 2 bad bounces away from being a 3-1 or a 3-0 game. However, the Binghamton Black Bears have to be more active in their penalty kill. They're allowing way too much possession, getting their legs tired out, and then they're not doing a good job of sweeping away those rebounds on the penalty kill. On the whole, we really need to see a wholesale effort from the Binghamton Black Bears in the penalty kill, because the Motor City Rockers have been able to do whatever they want so far on the power play.
That's the voice of Alex Jones. We will head to the Excite Motorsports intermission report after this. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's 1-1 after the first 20 minutes. You're listening to Black Bears Hockey on Fox 1430 in Binghamton.
All right, same deal as normal. You got 2 breaks in the intermission, and then 1 going into the second period.
All right, copy that.
Black Bear fans, it's now time for the Bricks Barber Company Clip of the Week.
Round one defender, can he make it two? Has the puck below the net, centering pass in front, they score! Austin Thompson sends everybody home happy for Binghamton. 4-3 final.
Bricks Barber Company located in the number 5 Commons at 41 South Washington Street right here in downtown Binghamton. Give them a visit today. Join us Tuesday, November 15th at 6 p.m. for the next live show at Tully's on the Vestal Parkway.
Power outages are a thing of the past when you have a Generac home standby generator installed by the team at American Electric. Give them a call today or visit them on the web at aegenerators.com.
If you're looking to install a beautiful, durable, and handcrafted countertop, call Atlas James Construction. The Southern Tier's most trusted stone fabrication will design and install your dream countertop and let you choose from a premium selection of natural stones like marble, granite, or quartzite. Stone or granite countertops starting as low as $35 per square foot installed. Schedule your free quote and receive a free sink with your countertop project. Call 607-275-5495.
CryoWorks provides cryotherapy that uses nitrogen-cooled air to target specific areas of pain and inflammation. Local cryotherapy targets a specific area to deliver the same effects of the whole-body cryotherapy to that specific site. Treatments take 5 to 8 minutes, with a benefit exceeding that of hours of icing. Your Binghamton Black Bears' premier choice of cryotherapy, CryoWorks, 26 South Washington Street, Binghamton. Call to schedule an appointment today at 607-269-5392.
Getting your hands on an all-new CF Moto side-by-side or four-wheeler is now easier than ever at ExciteMotorsports.com. Purchase your next power sports vehicle with our new, easy, and quick online buying experience. Browse inventory on ExciteMotorsports.com. Buy, get approved for financing and e-sign online right from your phone. Ride, have your new power sports vehicle delivered to your home the next day at no extra charge. Browse, buy, ride. Fun starts here at ExciteMotorsports.com.
Whether you're a high school or college athlete or a weekend warrior, Guthrie is the area's premier sports medicine program, offering injury evaluation, concussion management, physical therapy, and more. With a full team of providers across New York and Pennsylvania offering same or next day appointments, Guthrie gets you back in the game as quickly as possible. Call the Guthrie Sports Medicine team today at 866-GUTHRIE or learn more at guthrie.org/sportsmed.
Now it's time to take a look back from the previous Tully's Good Times with Coach show. Make sure to subscribe to the Binghamton Black Bears YouTube page so you can catch every show. Join us Tuesday, November 15th at 6 p.m. for the next live show at Tully's on the Vestal Parkway.
Welcome back into the Tully's Good Times with Coach Show. I'm Brooks Hill, now joined by Black Bears goaltender Joe Shepard. Joe, thanks for spending some time out of your evening coming out to Tully's and having a good time with us.
Appreciate it, Brooks. Thanks for having me.
Let's go ahead and talk about coming back this season. Like Matu, who we're going to get to a little bit later in the show, you're one of the returning Black Bears. What led you to return to Binghamton this season?
Yeah, I definitely think this is a great place to play. I mean, we have a nice arena and all that stuff, but I think when you look at the town and the history of the hockey here, it's awesome to be a part of it. I mean, as a goalie, looking at guys like Ray Emery, Robin Leonard being goalies here, and now to be a goalie here as well, I think it's pretty cool, and it's definitely just a great place to play to be here.
Two names that you mentioned, Ray Emery and Robin Leonard, both playing for the Binghamton Senators at the time. Two great guys, and God rest Ray Emery's soul, in the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, a recent inductee, I believe, in the 2021 class. just has a rich history, was a great goaltender for the Senators at the AHL level. And coming in here, and you, Owen, and Riley, Brian, all trying to step into the same arena that some great guys who came through and do it. And I know that the locker room still has some remnants of Senators and Devil stuff. And if you haven't seen the inside of the Black Bears locker room, it is AHL, or at this rate, Arizona Coyote level of locker room based on the way that they're playing. And you mentioned about how nice the arena is, but can you give maybe the fans at home or here in the restaurant just a little insight on how nice the facilities actually are for a minor league team here in town?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. I mean, we're definitely spoiled here. And when, as a player, like, selfishly, you look at it, you have everything you need to get better on a daily basis. I mean, you've got gym, you've got a steam room, hot tubs, cold tubs, cryo. I mean, all the ice we need. And on top of it, all that stuff's really nice. So that's kind of the cherry on top. So just having all that stuff, I mean, we're really spoiled. I mean, I played on teams in high leagues higher than this, and they don't have what we have. So, yeah, we like what we have here, and we definitely try to use some gratitude and take good care of what we have because we know it's special.
Go into the weekend a little bit with Danbury. You come in off the bench, and as a backup goaltender, you're always, one shot or one injury away from going into the game. And it's also, you're going into the game cold. You're not getting a warm-up period or anything like that. So what is that like for you on Friday, who are going in halfway to the first period, and it's like, okay, like, I got to try to keep this thing as close as we can?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of learned a long time ago that regardless if you're 1 or 2 on the sheet, you've got to be ready to go. And, I mean, when you're in the net, your team needs you regardless of the situation. So I really try to not think too much. I mean, if it's starting or not, I'm ready to go. I'm dialed in. I'm doing my pregame, kind of visualizing in between periods or before the game, and just trying to stay dialed the whole time. And when I'm in the cage, trying to help the team out.
So after your time with the Royals at Bethel University, you decide to go pro, spend some time in the SP, find your way to Binghamton. What's the biggest difference from NCAA hockey to pro-level hockey?
Yeah, I would say the biggest adjustment is, the number of games. As a player, you love it, right? You're playing more often, but you got to be ready to go more often. I mean, you play 25 games in college, and you play over double that in pro, and that's just the regular season. So making that adjustment, just being ready to go more often and having to go a lot longer, I mean, as far as duration of months in the season. So, yeah, that's definitely the biggest adjustment.
You're the first goalie that we've had on the Coaches Show this year, and we talk a lot about practice, but when I was talking with Coach, we're talking about special teams, gapping up defensively, making sure the defenders rotate. What's a goalie doing in practice? Because if you were just a casual fan, maybe you're just thinking, oh, the goalie's just there to stop shots. What are the goalies working on day in and day out at practice?
I think it really varies from guy to guy. I think myself personally, I try to keep 1 or 2 points of emphasis in my head about what I want to focus on that day. If it's reading plays or kind of focus on my skating, making sure like I'm completely positioned with the puck, stuff like that. So I'd say really detailed oriented type things to kind of not just make saves, but make saves easier, make saves in a way that's cleaner and can prevent rebounds and things like that. So really just staying dialed in and focusing on those details.
Well, that's good. And you talked about staying locked in during the game, whether you're on the bench, on the ice. It sounds like you're locked in during practice, making sure that you're focused on that 1 or 2 things, how you can improve to get better. Joe, thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate it. We're going to have another special guest, Mathieu Bawilar, coming up next here on the Tully's Good Time Coaches Show. Don't go anywhere.
Every Saturday night home game, we offer the Little Venice 4-pack, 4 Black Bears game tickets, and a $25 Little Venice gift card for only $44. Call the Black Bears office to get this deal.
Oh, Luba, you make me think of good things. Good things. Like calming tempers down. Good things. And passing them around. So stand up and cheer. Well, that's gonna be a good thing. Share a good-natured Canadian Pilsner.
Hawks 14-30 in Binghamton. Brooks Hill, along with Alex Jones and Boilar and Thompson, have returned to the penalty box, serving out their final minute of their fighting major. And Alex, the long second period change, and we're knotted at 1. What's going to be the key for both sides?
The key for the Binghamton Black Bears is just keep up the pressure, force Motor City to make some mistakes in their own zone. Motor City is going to have to abate this attack by making those cross-ice passes and making the Black Bears pay for those mistakes they make on those stretch passes and those neutral zone opportunities. If Motor City can do that, the Binghamton Black Bears are going to have to reassess how they go after it, how they address their offense so far this game.
That's the voice of Alex Jones. I'm Brooks Hill, and the second period brought to you by our friends over at Lofts at JC. And face-off won back by Motor City as we are officially underway. Lofts at JC, the official housing partners of the Binghamton Black Bears, with luxury 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. You can fill out an application today at loftsatjc.com. Black Bears with it in the offensive end now. Jamie Bussell, Utica Pioneer, with it down low for the former SUNY Oswego Laker, Mac Lewis. Bussell throws a wrist shot, and that might have been a knuckle puck on its way through. Didn't make it to Babin. Centering pass from Lewis has Fitzgerald backhanded over to Bussell. Plenty of space, and he gets his shot blocked. It catches Anderson up high, and he's shaken up.
Yeah, Brooks, that one caught him high. That was some friendly fire in their own zone. Got him right on the face, and he is headed immediately to the locker room. The trainer is going to be meeting him there as fast as possible. A scary situation for the Binghamton Black Bears, and nothing you want to see from a guy like Anderson, who's been all over the score sheet so far this season. Unfortunately, that's just one of those instances, Brooke, of friendly fire. You hate to see it no matter which team it is.
It just went right off his toe of his blade, and when you get it right off the toe, Alex, it has a tendency to go straight up in the air. It caught him right underneath the visor. Don't know if it was in his mouth or his nose, and don't want to speculate. The Worldwide Sports Supply ice crew coming out with some shovels to maybe pick up
some of the blood there,
yeah.
Brooks. Definitely was bleeding, judging by where his hands went and where his teammates reacted and sent him immediately to the locker room. That's the thing you hate to see, especially from a guy like Anderson, who's been on the point sheet all over the place. A lot of chitter-chatter so far this period from both Motor City and Binghamton. Just a lot of chat, and we'll see if something comes out of that, Brooks.
You always want to see if you can get in somebody's kitchen early and often, because you know that might come to pay dividends down the road a little bit later, if not this period, maybe even the next. Ready for a neutral zone face-off. D'Angelo wins it back to the captain, Schultz, who will backhand it to center ice for Sherman. Sherman will wrist it off the wall. It misses Babin. Babin has to hurry on back to his net, and we'll probably see Gavin Abbott draw into Jesse Anderson's spot on that third line, and that's why you dress 10 forwards here in the FPHL. Never know what's going to happen as the puck will elude Sherman at the blue line. Schultz skating backwards will collect it. And the breakout looking for the home run pass for Jurich. Skips over the stick of Wynn. This is no icing against the Black Bears, but Jurich's not quick enough to get to it first, as Mike Wynn will just backhand it past the captain. This is icing coming up against the Rockers.
I was just about to comment and compliment Wynn, too, on that heads-up play. It was a very heads-up play. Play it off the boards, force them into their own end, really got their guys on their own end, and it's just an unlucky bounce, not catching a single Black Bear as it skipped over the blue line, headed into the own zone, into the Binghamton Black Bear zone for icing.
Elias Thompson and Mathieu Boilar are now released from the penalty box due to their fighting major. Terms are even on the ice, 5-on-5, and also on the scoreboard where it matters the most at 1-1. A reverse hit put on by Kirkby. He's trying to seal his man away, but Gaudette comes away with the loose puck. Odd man opportunity. Gaudette looking for his second goal of the game. He misplays it, and now a 2-on-1. Jurich and D'Angelo. D'Angelo in his skates. Not the best pass from Jurich, that is Fitzgerald. That's a 1-5, not a 9-5. Good keeping, though, at the point from Walters. Walters saucer it down low, and Fitzgerald, who was covering with D'Angelo. A little bit of miscommunication for the Black Bears, and they had an odd man opportunity. Will get washed away. And here come the Rockers on the opposite side. McVeigh watches it go past his net. Kirkby will just backhand it out of the zone. and away comes Gino D'Angelo. The hometown kid from Binghamton throws a wrist shot on, and an elbow save made by Babin. Ivashkin tried to keep it in at the blue line, but instead they go D to D from Sherman to Schultz, retreating into their own zone.
It has been a tough game so far for Motor City, but you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to leap the puck back to Bartlett on a 2-on-2 opportunity, get Bartlett some space to shoot at the net from in between, right above the circles.
Tommy Cardinal crosses his own blue line looking for Bartlett, as Alex mentioned, at the opposing blue line. Rockers are on sides now and skating with it as Brad Ritter. Ritter on the backhand, and a good seeing eye play by Jake Schultz. Read that play beautifully, cuts the ice in half, forcing Motor City to tag back up. Tommy Cardinal with it on his backhand. Thought about going back to Clausen. Second chance he does. Wrist shot blocked on the way through by Newberg. And steering past to Bartlett. Easily steered into the corner by McVeigh. 5-hole rebound scored. Tommy Cardinal gives Motor City the lead as Binghamton could not find the puck as it was getting whisked around the boards. And Motor City grabbing the lead for the first time tonight.
And that's why you're trying, if you're Motor City, that's why you're trying to find Bartlett. He is an offensive spark plug so far in this early season, doing really well for a team where he's never really been able to grab onto a team and really last a long time. He's leading the team in points right now. Going to get a primary assist, I believe, on that one. Brooks played the puck right in front of that where Motor City was able to bury it home.
2-1 Motor City. And the Black Bears now in the familiar spot of last night, trailing the Rockers. Rockers only 12 shots on goal. Binghamton with 19 so far. And now Giuliano, cross-ice pass out in front, and a big save by McVeigh to keep this a one-goal game. Binghamton getting a little lazy defensively here in the second period. That could have made the game 3-1. Now Gavin Abbott filling in for Anderson, down low. Abbott collides with his man, and now Boilar at the point throws a wrist shot on, looking for a tip out in front. None provided as it gets directed into the corner. Suferdini will play it back for Ian White, who tries to slap a pass off of the stick of Conway, a little too hot to handle. Fitzgerald will roll it back, and the Black Bears can roll a partial change. They have it in the neutral zone, but they give it right back to Motor City, and Binghamton not doing the best to start the second period.
Brooks, I think Binghamton missed a big-time offensive chance there. Boilar took the slap shot, but JT Walters was asking for the shot on the opposite side of the blue line, and the defense was very much to Boilar's side. If he picks the one more pass to JT Walters, that is a great offensive chance from a big right-handed shot.
Alekin throws it on sides for Gaudet, and Gaudet went right through the wickets of Fitzgerald, a good deke. And now Clausen with it down low, and a kick save made by McVeigh. It's Motor City putting on the pressure early here in the second period. Kirkby chips it out of the zone, and Alekin will come off for a change. Bartlett was trying to camp out at the blue line for a home run stretch pass. Jurich now enters the zone on sides and throws a centering pass for Fitzgerald. Misfire, puck is available and melted down by Babin.
I'll tell you what, Markle put a huge hit on Gaudet, sent him careening from the circle all the way to the Black Bears logo by the blue line. That was a huge hit by Markle, and a little one he didn't. If you were following the play, you missed it. Big hit, and the physicality continues for the Binghamton Black Bears. That is going to be one of their keys to win. If they can physically challenge Motor City, it is going to be a tough game.
15-12 left to go as D'Angelo centering the top line of Tyson Kirkby and Tyler Jurich back out on the ice. D'Angelo tying the center up, and puck gets down low. Centering pass out in front. Jurich fans on it. Second chance, maybe off the outside of the post. And now Motor City comes away with the puck, but look out. A good job by D'Angelo holding the blue line, sends Ritter down to the ice as Ritter was trying to floor D'Angelo, and good job by Gino standing his ground.
Yeah, that was one of those classic reverse hits that's become incredibly popular in the NHL. Bartlett's calling for an outlet pass here. Shut down by Schultz.
Plays on sides, and Tommy Cardinal has the difference maker so far in this one, giving Motor City their first lead of the night. Black Bears are able to chip it out of their own zone, and Tyler Jurich along with Josh Newberg up to Newberg, and a big save made by Babin in the splits. Newberg didn't get all of that one, and we are headed to a TV timeout with 14:25 left to go in the second period. Motor City now on top for the first time. They lead 2-1. Since 1991, Welcome back to the action. 14:25 left to go here in period number 2. And Motor City with a lot more offense here in the second period. They're chipping away at the shots on goal tally. They trail by 6, 20-14, but where it matters, they're up by 1.
Babin has been playing out of his mind today, Brooks. I got to tell you, that save down there is an incredibly difficult one, going away from your natural side. Really gave a lot of effort there.
Schultz puts on a slap shot that's kicked out with a purpose by Trevor Babin. Newberg trying to go for the heavy hit coming out of the TV timeout. And down with it in the corner is Declan Conway. Conway jockeying for position for the puck with Corey Sherman. Parker comes in to lend a helping hand. He pays the price but gets the puck out of his own end, forcing Motor City to tag back up on side. Suffragini cross ice and FIFA'd out to the blue line. And Parker gets hit in behind. Ivashkin tries to sidestep his hit, gets it deep enough. No icing against Binghamton. Crowd wanting a call, but that's a legal play. No cross-checking there.
Completely agree, Brooks. That was just a clean hit right on the number. And Ivashkin and Newberg were both able to deflect their hits a little bit and really make it so that those Motor City players got them off the puck as looked like the rush was getting up the ice for the Binghamton Black Bears.
13:36 left to go. Everybody changing for both clubs. It'll be an offensive zone face-off coming up for the Rockers, dressed tonight in the traditional home black uniforms with purple numbers and white trims. Military appreciation jerseys presented by Lockheed Martin also being auctioned off live after the game in Section 1. Camouflage, Armed Forces seals, and stars and stripes for the Black Bears. They were able to come back and win last night down 2-0, winning 6-3. A long way to go in this one. Boussel's on sides as he gets into the corner, sends a big hit on to Mike Wynn, but nobody home to take control of the puck down low. Binghamton, though, collects it in the neutral zone. D-to-D passing now, finds the tape of Walters. Walters will up it for Gavin Abbott, but he loses control, and Wynn will steer it behind his own net. Alekin now going all the way across the ice, looking and losing his edge is Roman Gaudet. Babin coming out of his net, hurry have to backhand it. Talked a lot about Mike White this shift, as Mike White will just throw it all the way, camped out at the blue line. Once again is Bartlett. Not seeing Bartlett too much in the defensive zone here tonight, as Boilar goes all the way down to Boussel. Play is on sides, dropping it down low for D'Angelo. Delayed penalty coming up as the Rockers will touch up. The Black Bears are headed once again to the power play.
Well, Brooks, you just said Bartlett, you don't see him much in the defensive zone. He's using that trail method where it's almost that old school style. If you're playing a pickup basketball game, the guy who kind of hides at the back of the court and then runs up while you're not trying to play, while you're not paying attention, and picks your pocket. 16 Win, though, headed to the box for 2 minutes.
It's a high sticking call on the minor, and the Black Bears power play will be without Jesse Anderson, who leads the team with power play goals with 4. And we'll see who will step up into his spot on the second unit. First unit tonight is centered by Tyson Kirkby, who we will see go back to the power play position, or excuse me, the quarterback position. Tyler Jurich also will man the blue line a little bit for him, and Mac Lewis, who is also a true centerman, occupies the right wing, and Jamie Boussel on the left side.
Yeah, there looks to be some ice issues in front of the Motor City bench, especially I think that is where Gaudet went down. Perhaps he dug his skate into the ice there, creating a little bit of a divot. Referees on that, or the line judges are on that right now, cleaning that ice up and getting it ready to go as we wait out for them to finish up. Brooks, it looks like this second unit of the Binghamton Black Bears that's been so successful under Anderson's going to have to find a different spark plug. Who do you think that's going to be?
On the second unit, you can always have a safe bet with Nikita Ivashkin cashing in. I think that we're going to see a lot of shots on goal this opportunity, as maybe the Black Bears are frustrated with how they played here in the middle frame. It looks like we're ready to drop the puck now. It's unit number 1. And Tyler Jurich has control over it, but maybe it just jumps over his stick coming out of the zone, and now the Black Bears will have to re-enter. Schultz skating with it now, and center ice giving it up for Mac Lewis. Mac Lewis gets ahead of steam and will just chip it away into the corner for Kirkby. Kirkby does a good job holding on for the puck for temporarily. Mac Lewis doing a good job boxing out his man, Jurich. Now back down low. They get situated into their regular spots. Kirby with it now on the blue line. He'll walk it. Load the cannon. Thought about it. Loads it up for Schultz. Slap shot out in front in the blue paint. It doesn't go in. Kirby now with it. Black Bears applying pressure. It was on the blue paint, maybe on the goal line, and Babin swallows up a Jurich wrist shot. And I think for Jurich right there, that's just a frustration shot as you were that close to tying this game up.
Yeah, you know, Schultz put that shot on. It landed right on the back door, and nobody was home. No one's home to check for that package, gift wrapped for the Binghamton Black Bears. And then the Motor City Rockers are able to clear the puck and neutralize the danger.
Seeing it in slow-mo on the Heinz Energy replay, it just gets enough of Trevor Babin to stay out of the net. Black Bears win the face-off, and they go right back to it. Same unit out. Kirby, dead center ice with the puck. He does a good job skating away, trying to get the Motor City defense to rotate. Jurich throws a wrist shot. Nobody home as it caught Mac Lewis on the way through. Schultz now back to Kirby. Those two will play catch. Schultz will relocate it in his skates. And trying to look for Jurich cross ice, but a sloppy pass, and now shorthanded opportunity. Makima stick handles around, and a save made by McVeigh. Schultz loses his edge down low, and here comes Jamie Bussell in center ice. Bussell tries to skate around one man, gets his ice impeded, and a penalty coming up against Motor City. Binghamton needs to do the smart thing here and just give it to the other team.
100% Brooks to get the keeper off the ice, get that extra man. They got a 2-on-1 off the crossbar.
20 seconds left to go. Motor City touches up, and the Black Bears will have 16 seconds left of 5-on-3 time as a hooking call is being made against Motor City. Derek Suffredini, who we saw sit in the penalty box a lot last night, back in the sin bin once again tonight.
Yeah, and Suffredini's arguing for it. I think it was an accidental hook, but unfortunately when you get your stick up in the body like that, you just give any opportunity for an accident. If a player goes down, just doesn't give them you can't give them the opportunity to do that. Even if he loses an edge there, they're going to call it 100 times out of 100 because your stick's up in his body.
When that stick gets parallel and in on the hands, that's an early indication for the referees that, hey, maybe something's going on here. 10:55 left to go in the period. 16 seconds of 5-on-3, and the most important face-off of the night coming up for the Black Bears, and power play unit number 1 is still on the ice. And it also appears that Jesse Anderson is waiting at the door, trying to re-enter the game at the next whistle. Bussell skating around with it. 7 seconds left to go on the 5-on-3. Schultz loads the cannon, misfires. Puck is still available down low. They fight for it at the post, and the first penalty is over. It's now a 5-on-4. A little bit of miscommunication from the penalty box. Mike Wynn now returns, and 1:35 left to go. Plenty of time for the Black Bears. They can catch their breath, take their time, get the shot that they want. Slap shot put on by Jurich, misses everything, but Schultz will come down low and indirect it backwards for Bussell. Kirkby at the quarterback position gives it over to the slot receiver in form of Tyler Jurich. Now Schultz right at the Black Bear logo. Down low into the face-off dot as him and Bussell will play catch. Slap shot put on, blocked on the way through, still available just inside the slot, but the Rockers will chip it out of the zone. Good indirect pass as Bussell will tag back up on sides. Kirkby throws a wrist shot, seeking it wide. Bussell collides with the goaltender. He's pushed down, and now Babin is going to go at Bussell. Babin and Bussell getting tied together in fisticuffs, and everybody gets jumbled up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a delayed penalty there on Bussell for goaltender interference. I think it was incidental contact. He might have got sent into him. However, the keeper's going to take a little bit of exception to that and really get after him. Put his hands on Bussell's head and put him in the corner. It's getting physical here, folks. Really getting after it. Bussell continues the physicality in the corner. Really getting after some of these Motor City players tonight. Brooks, it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. If they're just going to keep it a single minor or if they're going to divvy it up, maybe a continuation or if possible an additional roughing penalty in that pile.
The good news for the Black Bears is Jesse Anderson is making his way back over to the bench. And Bussell is being ushered over to the penalty box. 9:50 left to go here in period number 2.
As we untangle that web of arms and hands and figure out who's going to get penalties for what and figure out who's getting what on the game, we could see another game, another 10-minute in here for Bucell, the continuation of a fight possibly.
Hopefully we have an answer for you when we come back. We're going to commercial. 2-1 Motor City over Binghamton. You're listening to Fox 1430 in Binghamton. Welcome back. You're listening to Fox 1430 here in Binghamton. The Black Bears have Jamie Bucell headed to the penalty box, and we'll see if it stays at 4-on-4 for the next 55 seconds. That'll inevitably kill off the power play, and the 5-on-3 kill for the Rockers might have shifted the momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, Brooks, there still hasn't been put time up on the board yet. I don't know if they're clarified what's happening with where or who. It's going to be interesting to see how this gets divvied out penalty time-wise. We also have the board door opening on the Motor City side, so I'm wondering if maybe is there an offsetting minor here? What's going on?
It's a neutral zone face-off, and it looks like it's still a 5-on-4 power play for the Black Bears. That really buffled me. And they give matching penalties for roughing. The goaltender, Trevin Babin, along with Jamie Bucell, get the penalties. So still 40 seconds of power play time for the Black Bears as Ivashkin skates around the net. There's Jesse Anderson fresh out of the locker room, maybe with a piece of cotton stuck up in his nose. Going in down low. Broken stick on the ice. Puck is on the goal line. They score!
You know what the key there, Brooks, was? Number 88 for Motor City, Scott Posch, broke his stick trying to stick check the guy in front of the net. That left them with a 4-on 3.5, and unfortunately, the Black Bears were able to get that stick out of the way, put the puck in the back of the net.
It's Brett Parker cashing in once again for the Black Bears, and they tie the game up at 2. A power play goal for Binghamton, and we are knotted at 2 once again.
Yeah, Brett Parker buried that one in the back of the net. It just sneaked through the keeper's legs, landed on the doorstep, and then Reynolds was just able to go through, put that puck in the back of the net.
Official right on top of it, and Babin had no idea that it had leaked through. He turned his head and started to look. And sometimes the best thing to do as a goaltender, if you don't know where the puck is, just to freeze. You might jog it loose, but Brett Parker collects the loose change, and we are tied at 2. Black Bears with control. And MJ Merkel will up it to his defensive partner, Colin Fitzgerald. Parker gets his 4th of the season as Kirkby throws a backhand shot. That's swallowed up by Babin.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good opportunity there for Tyson Kirkby. The puck landed just off a Motor City bounce off a player, landed right on his stick. He got a good backhander there. Well, let's go back to the goal by Reynolds. Reynolds, it was all set up by the deep play of Reynolds himself, getting that puck in with his speed, moving it around. Being the Black Bears were able to move that puck around. Puck landed up right in the doorstep. And you know what they always say, Brooks, if you're in the right spot, good things will happen.
Giuliano will come out with control of the puck after the face-off, but Colin Fitzgerald does a good job of trying to get the puck just into neutral territory. Though Scott Coach, though, now 2-on-1, late developing, and a shot that goes off the helmet of McVeigh. McVeigh had no idea where that one was, might have stung him just a little bit. Wrist shot blocked in on the way through by Declan Conway, and Conway will send it a knuckle puck on net and swallowed up by the goaltender.
Yeah, that was a good tip there by Conway, getting the puck, making the McVeigh feel it. The puck hopped up, got him in the mask, and it was a tough one for McVeigh. You know, it really makes you think how happy these goalies must be for these modern masks that really help protect their head and faces. I was looking at a picture earlier of Terry Sawchuk after a game, during the era where goalies didn't wear masks. And I bet after that one, McVeigh is really happy that we have this modern technology to protect his face and neck.
McVeigh takes his helmet off, makes sure all of his straps are still connected. And we are set monkey formation coming now for the Rockers. And they will quickly call an audible. Ross Bartlett trying to get it over to Cardinal, who gave the Rockers the lead 2-1. It's now since been tied by Brett Parker's 4th of the year. Slap shot put on at the point, and we have a penalty coming up. Slashing is the call, and it is Ross Bartlett coming off his 1-game suspension. An offensive zone penalty coming up against Motor City puts the Black Bears right back on the power play.
It's an unfortunate penalty for Bartlett that Motor City can't have just coming off the power play. Bartlett goes for a stick lift and just goes a little too hard on it, knocks the Binghamton Black player's stick right out of his hand, and they're going to call that a slash every single time. That's another one of those player safety things that's really been pushed by leagues to prevent some of the sticks or some of the high sticks that hit people in the face. And unfortunately, Bartlett takes an unfortunate penalty to put his team a man down.
Interesting decision. Power play unit number 1 back out on the ice. Here's Schultz, throws a wrist shot. Rebound is kicked out by Babin. Puck is available on the initial shot, rather. Anderson now on power play unit 1 again, back in his regular spot, fresh out of the locker room. And now Jurch toes the line, throws a shot up high. Puck is available, but the referee blows the whistle. Babin squeezing his legs in between the pipes, melts it down.
Another great save by Babbitt. You know, he really used every single piece of his equipment to stop that puck, knocked it down with his blocker, closed his legs on it against the cage to kill that puck on the power play. Otherwise, that's a great opportunity with a keeper out of position and without a stick, Brooks.
Black Bears will go to the right face-off dot to the left of the goaltender. Face-off one back by Lewis. Schultz holds it in at the blue line. They give Schultz a lot of daylight. Now back to Kirkby in the QB spot right at the Vision's on-ice logo. Schultz now in the face-off dot, throws it just out of the reach of Kirkby, and the Black Bears will be forced to tag up onside. That was a good poke check by Mike Wynn inside his defensive zone.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Brooksy, is that they are heavily favoring the Kirkby and Jurich side of this power play. There have been multiple times where Schultz on that bumper position has been wide open for a slap shot. And after last night's game, can you blame Motor City for doing that?
Now they get it down low to Anderson, back up to Schultz, D to D now to Kirkby. Kirkby to Schultz, one-timer fanned on it. Schultz will take control of it, skating down low. He reverses it back up top now, Anderson. Kirkby up high in the middle here, trade places with Tyler Jurich. Jurich with a lot of space, throws a slap shot, and seen all the way by the right-handed catching goalie, Trevor Babin. And power play unit number 2 is making its way out onto the ice.
Yeah, Babin with that opposite hand of a normal goalkeeper snags it hard, and that is what's really hard for those right-handed shooters against that. Normally you're going against the keeper's blocker. This game, however, you're going against the trapper, and the trapper was fast and consistent for Babin there, and we have a Motor City player headed to the locker room right now. I didn't catch the number, bro.
We're getting an update on that here as soon as we have one. Face-off won by the power play unit. That was Newberg, the second center. We're on the extra man offense now. Brett Parker, who has tied the game up at 2 with a late power play goal. Newberg with it down low, and Parker looking for his second power play goal of the contest. Gets upended, no call there. I agree with the officials on that one. It seems that Parker was just nudged on his way down. Ivashkin with it though. On his back end to Newberg. Newberg throws a wrist shot in and out of the glove of Babin. Still available down low. Abbott tries to get to it. Newberg stretches out for it. Penalty coming up against the Black Bears. And we're headed to 4-on-4 hockey for just 6 seconds.
Yeah, you can't take that penalty. You're trying to stop the back check, and just an unfortunate one. You know, Jake Schultz just can't, Newberg just can't stick his stick up there and get that into the meat of the Motor City player. They're going to call that they're just going to call it every time. Brooks, it is a penalty. We're going to head to 4-on-4 action with Motor City headed to the power play for 1:54 after this is done.
Four on four for 6 seconds, and it appears that the linesmen are having their work cut out for them tonight with the ice. Trying to spray some ice on. They're trying to sprinkle some water from the Black Bears Gatorade bottles. Just making sure that the puck will not jump. 6:32 left to go.
Well, this, Brooks, looks like me when I'm out on the greens trying to chip it in right outside. On the golf game, you got to replace your divot. We got to get after some of these guys to get out there and replace their divots out on the ice. Unfortunately for the Black Bears, it just seems like a lot of people are losing their footing tonight. It seems like a faster ice, and they just really aren't rolling over on their skates well and digging into the ice quite a bit. I mean, it's late in the second period, 6 minutes, 32 seconds left.
6:32 left to go. Face-off won by Koch, and Schultz will throw it all the way down. This is an icing call coming up against the Black Bears. 1 second left of 4-on-4 time, and Schultz might have jumped the gun just a little bit there.
Well, Brooks, it also kills the 4-on-4 time. So even on this draw, what if they can get the puck back to Schultz again? Now it's not going to be an icing. Now it'll be back to 5-on-5 strength. But, you know, it's a little no harm, no foul on that icing.
Bartlett skates straight over to the bench. Pass on the way through, blocked by the captain, sends his man down to the ice. Motor City looking for a cross-checking call. They're not going to get one, but they keep control of the puck. Conway toes the blue line, reverses it for Ian White in the face-off dot. So Fredini now, and Conway throws a wrist shot, blocked on the way by Riley McVeigh. So Fredini now toes the line, goes back over to Conway. Quarterback position for Suffredini, looking at a one-timing position in the bumper for Koch. Koch now creating space and separation, trying to get the Black Bears defense to rotate, and a good block by Sherman, and bats it out of midair and sends it down the length of the ice.
We're going to have a half-line change here. Get Anderson and Bussell out there. Keep your defensive pairing together.
Really good to see Jesse back out on the ice, both on the power play unit and now on the penalty kill, brought to you by our friends over at the Northeastern Striping Corporation. Specialty contractors for all your paving and concrete needs. Slap shot from the point, and it tipped out in front, and it gets past McVeigh. 5:24 left to go. Might have been tipped on the way through from Ian White's slap shot, and the Rockers have the lead once again.
Yeah, Brooks, that looked like a level change in front. I'm not sure if it got tipped. It looks like Giuliano's going to get the tip on that one. Out in front of the net. It's just a dangerous time. Again, the Binghamton Black Bears penalty kill cannot clear the ice, and they're letting teams set up in their zone. A little lackadaisical. Kirksby tries to get out there to drop it, to block the puck. However, Giuliano's able to set up right in front of the net for the tip. McVeigh can't do anything but react to that one.
5:24 left to go. Motor City now up by 1. They lead 3-2. And Boilar heavily pressured in his own defensive end. As we get a look at Garrett Makima, haven't heard a ton from him tonight like we did last night. Makima, though, with it down low on his backhand. Tries to indirect it, but will pass it down low. Walters trying to be the first man to it, but Elias Thompson beats him to the point. Clausen holds it in the zone, wraps it around the boards, and Boilar matched up with Gaudet, pins his man against the board, give him 2 points for a takedown. Binghamton, though, still can't clear the puck out of their own end. Anderson has to skate back into the defensive side and just up the puck for Bussell, who throws it off of the linesman. Delayed offsides coming up, but Motor City touches up. No offsides. Play continues. Brad Ritter now trying to stick handle around his man. Backhand shot saved by McVeigh, and Bussell comes away with the puck. 4:30 left to go as Bussell skates away across the center line now into the offensive end. Bussell throws a wrist shot, maybe looking for a rebound. Kept in, though, at the point by Tyson Kirkby. Chipped away by D'Angelo. And now Bussell with it down low just outside the trapezoid. Bussell back to Fitzgerald, D-to-D passing. Now for Merkel. Wrist shot blocked on the way through by Cardinal. Stays right in front of Merkel, though. And D'Angelo, though, had already vacated his spot down low. Fitzgerald pinching in. Doesn't make control of the puck. And here comes Brad Ritter. Ritter going through two defensemen. Will just indirect back to Ian White. Ian White puts on a slap shot. Friendly fire as it hits a rocker out in front. Motor City, though, with control of the puck. Clausen gets separated by Fitzgerald, and the Black Bears will escape harm as Fitzgerald crosses the red and now the blue line. Fitzgerald now looking for the centering pass out in front for D'Angelo. Handcuffed D'Angelo, and out come the Rockers. Ross Bartlett Centering pass and a good stick defensively by Tyler Jurich. Good job by the alternate captain getting back in time just to direct that puck into the corner. A diving Ian White keeps the puck in the neutral zone. Temporarily turnaround shot by Bartlett. No, he passes it instead. A lot of play right now without a whistle as Kirkby will chop it off of the glass, and the referees say very quickly that it was tipped on the way through. That'll give us a second to catch our breath. We're headed to commercial. Motor City back on top. They lead 3-2 with 3:21 left to go. You're listening to Black Bears Hockey on Fox 1430 in Binghamton. Welcome back. You're listening to Black Bears Hockey on Fox 1430 in Binghamton. Tyson Kirkby kicked the puck over the glass into the crowd off of a deflection, though, so no penalty there. Black Bears find themselves down by 1, 3-2, and Alex, a familiar spot that they were in last night in the final minutes of the second period.
Yeah, you know, Binghamton needs to step up the physical play. It seems like they've stepped off the pedal here. They've lost their intensity, they lost their fire, they lost the speed they've been playing with, and we're starting to see it a little bit more on this shift here, Brooks.
A centering pass through the back door, nobody home. Good display of stick handling from Sherman. Wrist shot at the point from D'Angelo. He misses everything, but a penalty coming up against too many men for the Black Bears. Referee right on top of it. And Binghamton headed right back to the Northeastern Striping Corporation penalty kill once again.
Yeah, you can't take that penalty at this point in the game, Brooks. It is just an unfortunate penalty, and the type of penalty that can sink a team. With 2 minutes 46 left, the momentum was finally starting to shift a little bit towards the Binghamton Black Bears side, and to take a dumb penalty like too many men on the ice, unacceptable at this point in time.
Black Bears trying to sort out which member of the squad will serve the penalty. It has to be a member that was on the bench. No, rather on the ice, my apologies. Brett Parker now is headed over to the penalty box. And what could have been a nice goal would have been washed out immediately for too many men. A bad line change for the Black Bears. And a big opportunity for Motor City to grab a 2-goal lead heading into the final 20 minutes. Face-off lost by Newberg. Makima wins it back to Colton. And Colton now, Makima in the face-off dot, and a wrist shot that's steered away by McVeigh with the leg save.
Binghamton seems to be pinning it against the boards down there, Brooks, really killing some time.
Every second counts on the Northeastern Striping Corporation penalty kill. Josh Colton puts up a slap shot, seen all the way by McVeigh at the top of his crease, and McVeigh will swallow up.
It seems like Josh Newberg was asking for a hook there. He thinks he was obstructed on his path to the Motor City defender to try to break that up.
10 penalties so far in this one, Alex, and we're not even in the third period yet. Newberg and Makima will face off once again. Newberg does a good job of winning it cleanly, and a nice tight turn by Schultz to try to exit the zone, but a good keep in at the point by Colton. Rockers now with it down low, as Giuliano will try to get it all the way back to Bartlett. It'll get knocked away by Anderson. Black Bears trying to maybe push for a shorthanded opportunity. They're just going to force the Rockers to tag up. They're now on sides. They have a trailer, and Josh Colton now has it right in front of his own bitch. Colton reversing it from Makima. Good stick work from Makima, keeping that in his control. Schultz sends his man into the wall, and maybe a little extra shove from the captain given out. And Makima makes his way back in. Colton in the faceoff dot, throws a wrist shot, blocked by McVeigh, and another penalty coming up. It's a cross-checking call coming up, and it'll be 5-on-3 for 55 seconds. And it seems that now it's Binghamton that can't get out of their own way with the penalties.
You understand what your captain's trying to do there, but it's just too much effort from Schultz to clear in front of the net. It was an unnecessary cross-check. The shot's coming in, but use that man as a natural screen and use him as to defend. Lock up his stick, lift it so he can't get a tip. Use his body and your own to prevent it from getting into the net. You understand why, you understand the instinct of Schultz there to clear the area for McVeigh, but you can't take that penalty in this situation.
And now you lose probably your best defenseman. 5-on-3, Boilard will come out onto the ice. Kirkby does a good job of stripping it away. Boilard will just slap it all the way around, but a great keep in by Ian White. White coming in, trying to create any separation he can. Slap shot kicked away by Riley McVeigh. Now Scott Koch with it. He will walk across the blue line, trade places with White. White thinks about loading the cannon up again, but gets it down low to the goal line for Suffredini. Suffredini now down low with it. Ian White, slap shot just wide of the target, missing everything. And Suffredini has to collect the puck over at the blue line once again. Now down low to Koch. Koch skating up with his head looking high. White, slap shot, misses everything. Out in front, 1 minute left to go in the period. 11 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Koch with it. In the face-off dot, throws a wrist shot, maybe off of the post, and a good stick by Kirkby to just knock it away temporarily. Ian White, slap shot, swallowed up by McVeigh, and the first man's out of the penalty box.
Yeah, that's a huge save for McVeigh. The legs are tired from your 5-on-3 penalty kill. You really saw a good job of Motor City trying to change some things up. I think they wanted to get Scott Koch. They switched their bumper and their net guy there because Scott Koch is a right-hander rather than a left-hander. And McVeigh was really vacating his lines to step up to Ian White's slap shot. I think they were trying to set Koch up for a one-timer on the back door.
Face-off won by the Black Bears. Trying to throw it out of the zone is Boilard. The play is onside though. Colton goes down. Another slap shot, missing the target. And Black Bears got a little lucky. Mac Lewis was still laying down on the ice. Roman Gaudet retrieves the puck down low. Josh Colton thought about it but lost it on the heel of his stick. And now Lewis trying to chip it maybe out of play just to get another whistle. 20 seconds left to go in the period. Black Bears will be content to let the puck get tied up down low behind the net. But the Rockers will pull it out in the slot. Colton throws a wrist shot, blocked on the way through. And Merkel sends it down the length of the ice. 5 seconds left to go. And that'll be the end of the second period. The Rockers will carry a 1-goal lead going into the break.
Yeah, you could see Gaudet right at the end of that power play trying to orchestrate maybe a moon pass to himself, step in onto the blue line, let it land and try to get a quick shot off at McVeigh. One last chance before the period ends. 19 seconds left on the power play for Motor City. Let's see what they got.
We're going to take a timeout, come back. We'll have the Excite Motorsports intermission report after these messages. Motor City right back on top where they were last night after 40. They lead 3-2 over the Black Bears. You're listening to Binghamton Hockey on Fox Sports 1430.
If you're looking to
Join us Tuesday, November 15th at 6 p.m. for the next live show at Tully's on the Vestal Parkway.
Power outages are a thing of the past when you have a Generac home standby generator installed by the team at American Electric. Give them a call today or visit them on the web at aegenerators.com.
If you're looking to install a beautiful, durable, and handcrafted countertop, call Alice James Construction. The Southern Tier's most trusted stone fabrication will design and install your dream countertop and let you choose from a premium selection of natural stones like marble, granite, or quartzite. Stone or granite countertops starting as low as $35 per square foot installed. Schedule your free quote and receive a free sink with your countertop project. Call 607-275-5495.
CryoWorks provides cryotherapy that uses nitrogen-cooled air to target specific areas of pain and inflammation. Local cryotherapy targets a specific area to deliver the same effects of the whole-body cryotherapy to that specific site. Treatments take 5 to 8 minutes, with a benefit exceeding that of hours of icing. Your Binghamton Black Bears' premier choice of cryotherapy, CryoWorks, 26 South Washington Street, Binghamton. Call to schedule an appointment today at 607-269-5392.
Getting your hands on an all-new CF Moto side-by-side or four-wheeler is now easier than ever at ExciteMotorsports.com. Purchase your next power sports vehicle with our new, easy, and quick online buying experience. Browse inventory on ExciteMotorsports.com. Buy, get approved for financing and e-sign online right from your phone. Ride, have your new power sport vehicle delivered to your home the next day at no extra charge. Browse, buy, ride. Fun starts here at ExciteMotorsports.com.
Whether you're a high school or college athlete or a weekend warrior, Guthrie is the area's premier sports medicine program, offering injury evaluation, concussion management, physical therapy, and more. With a full team of providers across New York and Pennsylvania offering same or next day appointments, Guthrie gets you back in the game as quickly as possible. Call the Guthrie Sports Medicine team today at 866-GUTHRIE or learn more at guthrie.org/sportsmed.
Now it's time to take a look back from the previous Tully's Good Times with Coach show. Make sure to subscribe to the Binghamton Black Bears YouTube page so you can catch every show. Join us Tuesday, November 15th at 6 p.m. for the next live show at Tully's on the Vestal Parkway.
Joined by Matu Aboilar. And Matu, thank you for taking some time coming out with the show and being here with us tonight at Tully's.
Thanks to you guys to get me there.
Now, let's go ahead and start all the way back in the beginning. Native of Quebec up in Canada. English, not your native language, and we were just talking about it off air that French is the native tongue, and you were saying that you can really get by in Quebec and in your neck of the woods in your hometown, but just speaking French and you could be just fine.
I could be just fine. Like, actually, we got many people at home, like, got trouble with their English. I got a couple of friends at home. They will go to USA, they will go around the world, couldn't like speak great English. They can make themselves understand, which is like the important part. We learn English at home, but obviously French is our first one, and wherever you go, you'll speak French. And even for you guys, you'll go to a place when they take care of like vacation or stuff like that. You go to Montreal, Quebec City, they want to make money from you, they'll speak English, but elsewhere you might have trouble.
Okay, so it seems like maybe the tourist parts of Quebec, there's talk to you in English, and then, on the hidden gems around everything like that, everybody's speaking in French.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, were you learning English in school, or was it that, oh, hey, like I have teammates and they're speaking English, I'm speaking French, and I'm picking up on what they're saying maybe at practice?
I got friends who are speaking English a little bit maybe at home, but most of it is from the school actually. When I go to my high school, I couldn't even speak English. Like I was so bad I could laugh at word because I thought it was something else in French. And we were watching Simpson, like my primary school. We were watching Simpson trying to learn.
Okay.
Yeah, so it
That's
was
a good
so
story.
bad. But since I was in hockey with my program at high school, I got the artist English, so that's why I built on it. And like in grade 5, I was like starting to get real better in English.
Okay, well, it seems that, obviously your English has gotten better as you've gotten older through high school, through secondary school, post-graduation, juniors, pros, everything like that. It seems that, you pick up on your teammates and it becomes more part of your dialect. And I think you could probably say that the amount of English that you can speak now is years ahead of what it was back when you were in high school, when you were just getting there.
Obviously, like even just last year when I come up here, I come here in January, and it wasn't perfect. Guys were saying words in the locker room. I couldn't even understand what it was, and they were making fun of me. And even like right now, the difference is also like in society. Like I asked last week, what was Fargo's well to Jurich, and all the guys started laughing at me.
Fargo as well. That's a good one.
I didn't even know what it was. So like, it's not even like bank. It's like the society. It's not even the language. But my girlfriend can tell you I really improved like only within 1 year.
Well, that's good. It seems that also it's good that you have guys who are willing to help you out, or significant others, everything like that. A big team camaraderie for the guys. And talked about coming back. You played in around 30, 35 games last year, regular season for the Black Bears. Played in all 3 of the playoff games. What's the difference between a playoff game and a regular season game in terms of the actual gameplay on the ice?
Yeah. The biggest difference I'll say is the fear. The fear, because you never know. We play like best of 3, which is like really short. And you know that after this 3 games, your season is done. So like on the ice, each play can make the difference. So like in first period, you can like maybe, okay, let's say you drop 1 play, that's fine. But like as long as the game is come up, you can make this mistake because they will end your season. And I think that's the fear, the biggest difference.
Well, we have a long way to go before we have to worry about the playoffs. The playoff situation or scenarios still being worked out. The league goes from 7 teams to 10. Obviously, things are going to change, and now with divisions back in the FPHL, the Black Bears playing in the Empire Division, currently in 2nd place behind Danbury. They're taking on Elmira, who is currently in 5th place, but as we talked about with Coach earlier in the show, that Elmira is going to be a completely different team. And you are actually one of the few players now on the team who didn't play with against Elmira opening weekend. What does it mean for you to now actually have a spot back in the lineup? And it's like, for you, it's a new team, but for everybody else, they've seen them before.
The biggest difference is I don't know what to expect. Of course, I've seen the scoreboard. I watched the game on YouTube, but you can't really like build like expectation from what you saw on the internet. And also, like just like you said, they got new players. It's gonna be a whole different game, and you need to prepare yourself as if it's a different team, especially in that league. Like week by week, team are changing. You got players returning. You got like players that they just signed. So a whole different team. I'm just expecting a really good team, just like we take with Danbury.
Sounds like a lot of it. Like you got to expect the unexpected coming through with guys rotating through the locker room, new guys coming to the lineup. You're getting your first opportunity to play against them this season on Friday and Saturday night. For fans who want to watch or listen to the game, they can watch on YouTube, and they can listen live on Fox 1430 or on the iHeartRadio app here in the Southern Tier neck of the woods. Let's talk. gives us the opportunity to tell you that the next home game is next Saturday, 1 week from tonight, against the Delaware Thunder. It's Scout Night, so make sure that you bring your local troop out to the game. And for more information, you can contact our good friend Bobby in the ticket office, or even Alex in the group sales department as well. Alex at BinghamtonBlackBears.com and Robert at BinghamtonBlackBears.com. They would love to chit-chat with you about bringing a group out to any of the Black Bears home games. As the puck is dropped, we're ready to go. Motor City wins the opening draw of the third period. They have a couple seconds left to go of power play time as Jake Walters gets down with it, slaps it all the way down the ice, almost connecting with Gavin Abbott, springing a home run pass for the shorthanded opportunity. Jake Schultz is released out of the penalty box, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. 30 seconds gone here in period number 3. Conway chips it ahead, and it looks like it will stay in the zone as Boylard couldn't get a good grasp on that puck. And Bussell, who's taken a penalty earlier tonight, is on the heavy forecheck. Right on the stick of Walters, who will slap it in. Bussell tags back up. Babin sets it up on a tee for Colton. And Colton will pause, let some forwards change for Motor City, get some fresh bodies on the ice as we have just about a minute gone here in period number 1. Motor City still with it in the blue line, almost taken away by Gino D'Angelo. Puck flown up high into the air, crossing the line. They say it's onside. 2-on-2. Shot deflected off the high glass, stays in the rink. And Kirkby will indirect it over for Fitzgerald, who does a good job sidestepping Roman Gaudet. Kirkby retreats into his own zone to control the puck. Here go to his defenseman, MJ Merkel. And Kirkby loses it in his skates. Turnover. Look out. 2-on-1 opportunity. Gaudet just a hair in front of him. And the Rockers will just backhand it into the zone. Merkel, who had a home run pass on an assist to Nikita Ivashkin last week in Elmira, skates across the blue line, throws a wrist shot that's easily detected by Babin, and there's no further play.
That's the type of turnover you don't like to see from the guy wearing the A on his sweater. Kirkby just giving Motor City a great opportunity as luckily McVeigh and this Binghamton Black Bears team were able to rally and stop that offensive chance. But that is a primo offensive chance for the Motor City Rockers that the Binghamton Black Bears, down 1 goal, cannot simply afford to give them.
No, that could have been a very costly turnover. The Black Bears lucky that they get out of Dodge with no harm. Josh Newberg on the ice, perhaps one of the best face-off winners on the team for Binghamton, wins it back to his defenseman, and they steer it down low for Parker. Parker putting it back at the point for Sherman. Sherman will just indirect it off the boards, and Newberg and Parker got caught in the same spot. Neither one of them plays the puck, and out come the Rockers. Tommy Cardinal skates past Jake Schultz, and Schultz will pin his man up against the board. Ivashkin now trying to get to the puck, kept in though by Clauston. Wrist shot never made it through. If the Black Bears hurry, this is a 3-on-2 opportunity. Ivashkin now making a 2-on-1 with Parker. Ivashkin skating it alone, shelves it, he scores! Tied, ball game. Nikita Ivashkin, 2 goals in 2 nights, and it's 3-3.
Man, what silky mitts from Ivashkin, and what a show of patience there. Takes the puck down the right wing, holds it all the way across both circles, gives a couple dekes. Motor City Babbitt's got to stretch out wide, and Ivashkin just buries it upper corner of the net for the goal, tying this game up at 7:15-6 in the third period.
Whole lot of time, and it's a brand new hockey game, 3-3, as Ivashkin connects on the stretch pass. Dekes around Ian White, outweights Babin, and shelves it to the far side. It's 3-3, an even strength goal by Nikita Ivashkin, his second in the weekend. And Schultz trying to give the Black Bears back the lead with a booming wrist shot off the high glass. Put on at the point and snared by Babin. And that's a slow this game down kind of save, as Babin could have played that puck or just let it go over his head.
Yeah, it was a smart play by Babbitt to grab that in his trapper, slow the game down, allow also Motor City to get a change, and allow them to be able to get a new set of lines out there for this face-off.
Lewis loses the face-off, and an outstretch. Halekin will try to play the puck to himself with a nice indirect pass, but instead teams will trade with it in center ice. Comes on the stick of Jesse Anderson, plays offsides though, as Anderson's skate was touching a little bit too much white there and not enough blue. It'll be a neutral zone face-off coming up.
It is a real disappointment from Anderson there. If he's able to hold his skate, that's a one-on-one opportunity with a keeper, and the Black Bears forward had a ton of speed headed towards the net. looking to against Babbitt, get towards his trapper side rather than his blocker side.
Face-off won by the Black Bears. Boilar skated into the offensive side. He gets knocked down by Gaudet. And Boilar, who's already taken a fight, maybe playing a little bit of tummy sticks with Gaudet there on his way passing by. Black Bears with control of the puck in the center ice zone. It's now Jamie Bussell. The Utica Pioneer scored his first goal with the Black Bears last year. Has it right out in front in a stone-cold save made by Trevor Babin. Babin, just the natural reflex of his leg, kicked out and sent it away off the stick of Bussell, keeping this game tied at 3.
I'll tell you what, Bussell there had a great move, and he set it up perfectly. He made Babbitt think the puck went behind the neck, sat the puck between his legs, tried a backhander. Babbitt's leg there was just naturally there, though, stopped that play.
Head of steam now for the Rockers is Brad Ritter. Ritter loses control of it. Turnover, though. Ross Bartlett throws a wrist shot. Turnaround shot way wide of the target as Jarrett tries to bat it out of midair, rumble pony style, and gets over into center ice. Motor City has to tag up. Merkel looking for Jurich, camped out at the blue line, but Merkel has to double back into his own end. Doesn't get it deep enough. The linesman gets in the way unintentionally. And now Tommy Cardinal with it in front of his own bench, getting peppered by Colin Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald playing his second Black Bears game of the season after playing in the SPHL a little bit earlier this year down in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, it was one of those plays there just a minute ago. Tony D'Angelo went for the hip check, and I think if he had stayed straight up, that would have been a good opportunity. The puck sat on the Motor City defender, and D'Angelo would have had a chance to play that puck and get on net.
Gino D'Angelo, one of the hometown kids here, 3 Binghamton natives playing for the Black Bears, and everybody in the crowd loves it when the hometown guys produce on the ice. It might not always be a goal, but a big hit or a so-called whatever, as that puck is deflected out of play. 15:31 left to go. The hometown kids really get the crowd on their feet.
Yeah, it is one of those things when you have a guy from your own hometown, it is a great opportunity to see hometown hockey in action. One of 2 hometown kids around here. A lot of good players coming from the state of New York in general, but really Western New York in the southern tier with some of the Adirondacks as well. A lot of talent coming out of those 3 areas, Brooks.
Ivashkin on another home run pass. His man goes down to the ice. Ivashkin stays with it, stops and starting once again. Ivashkin throws a snapshot that just goes wide of Babin's net. Didn't make any contact with the goaltender, though. Ivashkin will collect the loose change down in the corner. Looking for a friend to pass to, gets stripped away by Declan Conway, and Conway throws it back in his own ice, goes D-to-D passing. And now the Rockers will cross the blue line. Offside, no, they say that play is onside. Through the blue paint and out, nobody home. Ian White thinking about loading up the cannon, instead passing it up in the slot. High danger chance, and the Rockers have the lead once again. Black Bears got caught following the puck too much, leaving a man all alone in the slot, and with 14:54 left to go, Motor City has the lead once again.
Yeah, the Black Bears there have to track that puck better. They got all caught puck watching, and Dante Suffredini able to bury it in the back of the net. It's just one of those unfortunate ones where you really get caught, slow legs, tired out, and you're watching the puck move around the zone. You got to clear that puck. Unfortunately, somebody lost their man on the rotation, and you go down to block it, but it goes into the top crossbar, buries in the back of the net.
Rockers up by 1 once again. A high-scoring affair here tonight once again as Mac Lewis and Derek Makima get tied up in the face-off dot at center ice. We'll see how Binghamton wants to play this one. They say the play is onside once again. Makima now crossing the line, trying to get it to his teammate, but it's going to be clipped up high. Bussell is down on the ice.
Yeah, he got hit high there with a stick and maybe a hand as well.
Bussell gets up on his own power. It goes out of play, and Bussell now headed immediately for the bench. 14:26 left to go, and Motor City has the lead once again. They're up 4-3. Back with you after these messages. You're listening to Fox 1430 in Binghamton.
As a local employer of more than 300 people, Columbian Financial Group fosters an atmosphere of charity and volunteerism. Columbian strives to make a difference, not only through the sale of our products, but also by giving back to the community. Whether it's charitable organizations, the arts, or sporting events, Columbian and its dedicated employees are committed to helping our neighbors enjoy life a little more. Columbian Financial Group, proudly supporting our community while ensuring families nationwide.
Now back to more Black Bears hockey on Fox Sports 1430 Binghamton.
Welcome back to Fox 1430 right here in Binghamton. The Black Bears find themselves down by 1. And it's another opportunity for the Black Bears to come from behind. Once again, you thinking that the Ivashkin goal ties the game up at 3, but instead a little bit of sloppy defense for Binghamton in their own end leads to a wide open shot for Dante Suffredini, who finds the back of the net. And that is the difference maker so far in this one. 4-3 for the Rockers. Puck looking for a tip on the way through from Josh Colton. Doesn't find anybody. Centering pass blocked by Merkel right in the blue paint. Kirkby now has to poke down low, and Makima first to it. And Colin Fitzgerald has to steer it off on his backhand. The left-handed defenseman getting caught on the board side. And that puck will skip over a defenseman, Tyler Jurich. One-on-one, throws a wrist shot, swallowed up by Babin. And an offensive zone faceoff coming up to the left of the goaltender.
Yeah, Brooks, those sort of defensive mistakes you cannot make against a quality opponent like the Motor City Rockers of that Continental Division. It is one of those things where in a close game like this, you just can't lose your man in the offensive zone right above the circle. Great play by George, keeping with the puck, however, in the offensive zone and putting it right into the breadbasket of Babbitt.
Riley McVeigh making 24 saves in his second consecutive start. Black Bears have 34 shots on goal, and Trevor Babin having a much better outing tonight here, making 31 saves so far. And we still got more than halfway through. Motor City colliding with their own teammates at the line. Jers throws a wrist shot, rings the post. Babin might have got a piece of it too. Black Bears had a golden opportunity with a couple of guys dressed in black down on the ice. Kirby fighting for it against former NHLer Ian White. And Kirby skating around trying to find a friend to pass to. Finds Boilar, wrist shot, tipped on the way through, bounces right back out in front of the net. And now Fitzgerald down low. Nobody home though on the centering pass. Black Bears doing a good job though of maintaining control of the puck. D'Angelo will chip it and take the rough barb. Now back at the point for Merkel. Throws a wrist shot. George with it in the blue paint. Wears the puck. It jumps out. Fitzgerald has to toe the line just to keep it in. They find Bartlett looking for the home run pass. Just gets to stick to it. Bartlett will go off for a change. Conway stays on for the forecheck. And Binghamton will try to change their guys as well. D'Angelo chips it ahead. And now Brett Parker forcing Babin to come out of the net. Ivashkin keeps the zone and throws a wrist shot seeking for the far corner. Can't find anything. A Schultz wrist shot is partially tipped by Ivashkin behind the net, but nothing will come of it as Gavin Abbott keeps it onto the stick of Brett Parker, who will sidestep Zach Koch. And now Motor City has the puck behind their own net.
Hey, quick update, Brooks. It looked like Tommy Cardinal done that friendly fire on the dot next to the blue line. Immediately went off the ice, threw both his gloves down.
Ivashkin gets his stick tied up and knocked out of his hands. 3-on-2 for the Rockers. Skating back is Brett Parker to take away the odd man opportunity. And Binghamton does a good job of gapping up. Here comes Ivashkin with Brett Parker. Ivashkin now with it on his stick, gets it stripped away by Suffredini, the goal scorer. Black Bears keep the puck outside of the zone as they will have to tag up with Corey Sherman. Sherman skating right off to the bench along with Parker and Ivashkin. Schultz, Anderson, Lewis, and Boydlar along with Bussell out on the ice. 11:50 left to go as Mac Lewis sends his man into the referee. That'll get the crowd excited as the puck will get swallowed up and the linesman appears to be down. 11:44 left to go.
He got his knee trapped there. That is a scary situation when you get slammed into like that on home ice. The linesman is trying to keep himself up and got his knee pinned in by the Motor City defender there. A huge hit delivered, however. Unfortunately, the linesman was caught in the friendly fire and looks to be having some serious pain here. I'll tell you what, Brooks, though, the Black Bears offense needs to continue that cycle. That cycle was working well for them. They had some good opportunities, as well as leaking out a defender. Ivashkin's been sneaking out at the end, catching, and you hear the fans go wild. The linesman's up, shaking off his knee, checking his knee out. It was a scary situation there for a moment, Brooks. However, the Black Bears need to keep that cycle going. They also need to keep cheating Ivashkin out. If Ivashkin could get a one-on-one with Babbitt, I'd like that opportunity for Ivashkin.
Getting a look at the replay brought to you by our friends over at Heinz Energy, and Mac Lewis sends his man right into the linesman. Now, of course, he didn't try to hit him into the linesman. He tries to finish his check cleanly into the boards. And with 4 officials on the ice, sometimes they just get caught in the action. And unfortunately for the linesman, just got roughed up a little bit there, but appears to be skating on his own power right at the Binghamton bench, and looks like he will be able to continue.
I've noticed that a little bit this weekend, Brooks. The linesmen have been getting caught up a lot in the play, and unfortunately that's just part of the game. As they're part of the ice out there, so unfortunately they keep it going.
Binghamton will win the face-off 2-on-2. Bussell and Anderson. Bussell chips it into the corner for Anderson. Anderson first to it, puts on a tight stop. Bussell trying to play it with his hand. Boilar knocks his own man into a Motor City Rocker, and Gaudette is shaken up now down low.
I did not see what happened there, Brooks. I saw Gaudette go down. Looks like maybe you don't want to speculate anything. Looks like a bit of a shoulder issue, however.
Yeah, Gaudette favoring that left arm and shoulder. Skates over to the bench, though, not the locker room. That's a good sign for Gaudette and Motor City. We'll see where this faceoff comes in. Boilar hits a Motor City Rocker. He hits Gaudette into Clouston, and Clouston got taken off of the ice, and the referee's now getting together with it. They ask Schultz to step back for a mere moment. And as Elise Wilbur makes her way over to the Binghamton bench and to attend to Roman Gaudette. 11:27 left to go as 3 of the 4 officials.
I mean, Brooks, watching that replay, A, I don't think they can call anything here. They didn't see it live in action. They're not checking the video board. If they can't check it for goals, they can't check it for penalties. B, that just seemed like some jostling and an unfortunate fall as Gaudette turned. I think his shoulder just kind of came out of socket there as you could see the arm hanging down. I think they were just jostling for position in front of the net. Just a physical hockey play, but nothing really outside the rules. Sort of like when in football, an offensive and a defensive player are jostling for the ball and they don't call any sort of pass interference because they were given as much as they were getting.
The referees now explaining to the 2 captain representatives right across from the penalty box. And it looks like one of the linesmen is going to go off of the ice. And we will go down to a 3-man officiating crew the rest of the way. So maybe that's what they're doing, getting together.
It easily could be that's what they're meeting about. Maybe the linesman didn't realize his knee was injured, more injured than he thought. And so this is why they're pausing, trying to figure it out. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this face-off. They're having a big discussion at center ice. I don't think they're going to send anybody to the penalty box here, but I think they're probably discussing roles, who's got what, who's watching where.
Also, while you were talking, Alex, Roman Gaudette skating off on his own power to the locker room for Motor City. We'll see if Gaudette will be able to come back in the game. Schultz puts on a slap shot, a one-timer that's steered aside by Babin. Sherman does a good job keeping the point temporarily in the blue line. Lewis laying a hit on his man, and the Black Bears have possession in their own end. They go cross-size. This play would be offsides. Anderson and Bussell having to tag up, and here comes Elias Thompson tipping it ahead. And you can see that the officials now communicating with each other who has what play on the ice. Now with only 1 linesman, the trail referee will have a lot more to do. Play is going to be halted as it's batted down illegally with a high stick. It'll be an offensive zone face-off coming up for Motor City.
Yeah, it's incredibly tough to tell, and even with it's so impressive that even as they mobilize on the fly to figure out roles, that the officials communicate as much, if not more, than the players do. An extraordinary circumstance here, and it's interesting to see how the officials pick up the slack.
Face-off won by the Black Bears, and Jurich throws it over the stick of Derek Suffredini. Suffredini, though, is able to put it out of the zone, but they bring it right back in. Binghamton would have been on sides for that play, but the Rockers get the second opportunity out of the zone. Jurich will just wrap it around the board. Babin stays put in his net. Suffredini first to it. Misplays the puck, and now D'Angelo has it for Kirkby. Kirkby loses control over it. They lift it over the head of Sherman, and Sherman will have to skate all the way down into a race with Conway behind his own net. He'll have to throw it to an open corner. D'Angelo not going to be the first one to play it, as Giuliano, 53 in black, is first there. They say no high stick that time, as McVeigh catches an indirect pass that wasn't intended for him. They'll have to jump on top of it and melt it down.
Yeah, Brooks, it's a smart play there. you're in your own zone circle and there's nobody open. Let's reset, get a change, get fresh legs out there, and let's set up our own offensive zone play to break out with about 10 minutes left in the period. Let's see if the Binghamton Black Bears can push the pressure and get after a goal here.
Motor City will have the offensive zone face-off to the left of Riley McVeigh. And now with the linesman dropping the puck in the offensive zone, the trail referee will be responsible immediately for any plays at the blue line as the Black Bears clear the zone. Stretch pass out in front for Ivashkin. Ivashkin on his forehand, and a great defensive play by Clouston. Excuse me, that's Colton for in dark, impeding the progress of Akita Ivashkin.
At the last second there, Colton stuck his stick in and knocked the puck away.
Walters with it down low as Alekim tries to come away. Black Bears do a good job of making sure that pass gets indirected off the boards. And low, and Brett Parker stands his man up who was looking for a hit. Now JT Walters cross ice over for Brett Parker. Already one goal in tonight's game, throws it into the open corner. Josh Newberg, first Black Bear to it. Newberg throws it down low for the Black Bears. Ivashkin trying to get to a power move and on the wraparound that's worked so well for Binghamton early on in the season. Has it skate off his way. And now McVeigh indirects a shot that was supposed to be a pass. And now Parker looking into the corner, just dumps it, and all the forwards will come off the ice for Binghamton. Ivashkin and Parker slamming their sticks down in displeasure of that last shift. They knew that they were close.
I think if Ivashkin makes the unselfish play there, tries to get the one pass off to Parker, or to Newberg, sorry, I think that's a better scoring opportunity. Instead, he tries to wrap around and make that power shot, like you said. And it's just, you want Ivashkin to be the guy who gets that, get his eyes up, find his teammate who's right in the slot, unguarded.
8:55 left to go. We're taking our under 10 media timeout. Back with you after these messages. You're listening to Fox 1430 in Binghamton.
Are you planning on traveling to Binghamton for an upcoming Black Bears game? If so, check out La Quinta Inn and Suites by Wyndham for a night away from home. La Quinta Inn and Suites is a short drive from the arena and is conveniently located off of the Southern Tier Expressway and Highway 17 with easy access to Interstate 81 and the Vestal Parkway. La Quinta Inn and Suites by Wyndham at 581 Harry L. Drive, Johnson City. Reach them at 607-770-9333.
The future of audio is here, and it's always free. Listen to what you want whenever you want. I'm going to do that right now. Download our free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Now back to more Black Bears hockey on Fox Sports 1430 Binghamton.
We join the action in progress here as Riley McVeigh makes a toe save off of the Motor City wrist shot. Scott Koch now gets separated from the puck by Corey Sherman. If you're just joining us, one linesman has left the game due to injury. We're with three officials dressed in black and pink on the ice. Black Bears find themselves down by one with 8:30 left to go. Still plenty of time. Shots on goal, 36 for Binghamton, 30 for the visiting club from Michigan. Anderson trying to be first to the puck against former NHLer Ian White, and it'll be the captain Jake Schultz who will out the puck out of the zone. Plays on sides, 2-on-1. Anderson over to Bussell, centering pass, they score! Jamie Bussell ties the game at 4. 8:09 left to go, and when the Black Bears needed it most, it's a Utica Pioneer collecting the loose change.
And Brooks, you know what goal this is? That's the Burger King burger goal. Bussell buries in the back of the net. Anderson with the unselfish play on the 2-on-1 lays a perfect pack to Bussell, who buries it in the back of the net. These fans are going wild for their second consecutive Burger King burger goal of the weekend.
Jamie Bussell from Jesse Anderson. We'll see if they add a secondary helper to that one. I would imagine they would, as it scored. It's 8:09 left to go in the third period. 4-4 on the Binghamton goal. The first goal for Binghamton the second goal of the period for Binghamton. 8 minutes left to go, and we're right back where we started. Nothing has been decided yet. Makima wraps it around the boards down low for Elias Thompson, and the Black Bears come away with the puck. It's Colin Fitzgerald in his second game with the Black Bears. He has his first point. Play is on sides. D'Angelo first to it, indirects it off the back of the net. Nobody home in the slot. Church has it on his stick. Turnaround shot is blocked by a defenseman on the way through. Jurich does a good job, though, keeping it in at the blue line. Kirkby drops it over, and Merkel will just get out of his way. Now Fitzgerald back to the point. Slap shot put on by Kirkby. Rebound still available just outside the blue paint. Teams fight for it. D'Angelo has it on his backhand, giving it back for MJ Merkel. That goes off of the top of the boards, off the high glass, kind of just dies down low behind the net, and Jurich does a good job getting his body out in front. Gets his ice cut in half by Thompson. Now Fitzgerald, wrist shot down low to Jurich. Stick handling, forehand, backhand, puck is washed out at the last second. A defenseman cleared it out of the goal line. Jurich almost walked himself right into a game-leading goal. And boy, Alex, that gives everybody a chance to catch their breath.
Yeah, you know, the Binghamton Black Bears are buzzing. As I say that, we get the offsides, Brooks. The Binghamton Black Bears, though, were buzzing in that offensive zone. You could tell Jurich was feeling it. He was getting the itch. He thought that was going in the back of the net. He walked that through, and that almost became an own goal on Dante Suffredini. He almost had an own goal and a goal in the game.
We're looking at the Heinz Energy replay. We'll see if we can get that one close up one more time. Oh, no, it seems like we're going to be ready to go to drop the puck. And Jurich went forehand, backhand, back to the forehand on his power side, trying to tuck it into the far side post. And just misses as the puck sits on the goal line. Gavin Abbott puts a wrist shot on. That's blockered away. 40-30 shots on goal in favor of the home team. The last goal scored by none other than Tyler Jurich, who is heating up at the right time for Binghamton, tied with Ivashkin last year for the team lead in points over in the 90s, almost averaging 2 points a game.
We got a shot and a goal, Brooksy!
Nikita Ivashkin with his second of the night. Maybe I just need to stop talking. The Black Bears have the lead. 2 goals in 2 minutes for Binghamton.
I'll tell you what, I think that was Gavin Abbott again and got the puck low and buried it. Got it to Ivashkin to bury in the back of the net. An incredibly unselfish play by Abbott, getting the puck onto Ivashkin's stick in the slot, and Ivashkin buries it in the back of the net.
Take a look at the Heinz Energy replay. Another turnover for Motor City. Ivashkin right down in the slot. That's a gunslinger right there as he holsters his weapon. Gavin Abbott with the assist. And another goal to the top right corner for Nikita Ivashkin. Black Bears have a lead once again by 1. And Alex, over 4,000 fans here this week as another turnover, though. Coach puts it right on target. Riley McVeigh swallows up, and that'll let the Black Bears defense hold their breath. But over 8,000 fans this weekend here inside Vision Veterans Memorial Arena for Military Appreciation, presented by our friends over at Lockheed Martin. And boy, they've been treated to 2 great hockey games.
I mean, honestly, Brooks, it has been such a roller coaster. This is probably a playoff preview for any fans watching this game. The Black Bears and the Rockstars are giving it all this weekend. McVeigh had a huge save on that last play.
Face-off won by Motor City. Ian White has his slap shot blocked on the way through, and that's got to hurt. Even at the age that Ian White is at, to step in front of an old NHLer shot takes a lot of confidence. Kirkby over to Jurich. Jurich has his wrist shot blocked on the way through by Suffredini. Kirkby, though, takes control of the puck, waiting for his friend Boilard to maintain the blue line so he could pass it back. But instead, Kirkby gets the puck tied up down low right in front of our friends over at Alexander's Cafe, along with Jimmy John, sponsoring tonight as well because it's a college night on Saturday. 10 tickets for all college students with a valid ID every Saturday night for the entire 22-23 season. Boilard now with the puck in his own faceoff dot, goes for the home run pass for Jurich, who just wisely taps it down and goes off for the change, watching those precious seconds tick off the clock.
I'll tell you what, on Kirkby's play in the corner, that was a great play by Scott Koch to eliminate him. Don't even let him get the puck off at all.
Home run pass. Here comes Ivashkin looking for the hat trick and a stone-cold blocker save by Babin. It went off of the glass right back on top of his helmet, and Newberg throws a backhand rebound right into the catcher's mitt. 4:51 left to go. Hold that thought, Alex. We're going to our final media timeout. Black Bears on top, 5-4 with 4:51 left to go. You're listening to Black Bears Hockey on Fox 1430 right here in Binghamton.
Are you planning on traveling to Binghamton for an upcoming Black Bears game? If so, check out Lakita Inn and Suites by Wyndham for a night away from home. Quinta Inn and Suites is a short drive from the arena and is conveniently located off of the Southern Tier Expressway and Highway 17
I thought he was
with easy access to Interstate 81 and the Vestal Parkway. La Quinta Inn and Suites by Wyndham at 581 Harry L. Drive, Johnson City. Reach them at 607-770-9333. Calling all hockey fans, we are celebrating 50 years of Binghamton hockey this weekend as the Binghamton Black Bears take on the Mississippi Seawolves on Friday and Saturday night. It's going to be a great weekend. Get your tickets now at binghamtonblackbears.com.
Now back to more Black Bears hockey on Fox Sports 1430 Binghamton.
Ideal Bowling Center is where Binghamton hockey fans bowl with open bowling all week long with money-saving specials. Ideal is a great place for family, friends, company parties, and special occasions. Ideal Bowling Center, 119 Jennings Street in Endicott. There's so much more than just your favorite bowling alley.
I'll tell you what, Brooks, Ideal Bowling is one of the best places, especially with the holidays coming up, to bring your family that's in town visiting. What a great opportunity to combo some Black Bears hockey and some Ideal Bowling.
Newburgh will win the faceoff back to Ivashkin. Ivashkin now with 2 goals tonight, and of course they're coming both in the third period. Ivashkin could have a hat trick on consecutive nights for the Black Bears. Kirkby had a third period hat trick last night with an empty net goal. 4:30 left to go, still a couple of minutes before the coaching staff for Motor City has to think about lifting Trevor Babin out of the net, but we'll see if the Black Bears can grab any insurance goals. Here comes Derek Makimaw skating across the red line and blue line. It's offsides. Motor City has to tag up, and MJ Merkel will get tied up with his man. Merkel getting separated, and it looks like the Black Bears are going to take a penalty. A little undisciplined from MJ Merkel right there. Puts the red-hot Motor City power play right back on the ice.
I'll tell you what, Brooks, I understand the official there, but I don't agree with that. It wasn't enough. He didn't go after him. You just let him know, like, hey, you can't go after me like that. That's a completely bad penalty call there by the official. I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to maintain control with just 3 guys. But at this juncture of the game, you can't call a penalty like that. That's a game-changing call.
So Alekin draws the penalty. Merkel gives him a high hit, maybe at the back of the neck, and then after the whistle, gives him a little grab. And I'm going to agree with you there, Alex. I don't see too much there that warrants a penalty. I'm glad the officials got in there before it turned into something worse. I actually don't like the hit up high for Merkel while the play was still going on, more than I don't like the grab on the back.
But you can't act reactively if you're the official there. He didn't throw any punches. He didn't add any added physicality. He was just talking to him, grabbed his jersey. I don't see that as a call. And if Motor City done the same thing, I also wouldn't see the call for them.
Face-off lost by Newburgh, and the Northeastern Striping Corporation penalty kill is back out on the ice again. The most important 2 minutes of the hockey game coming up here. The fans need to get behind their team as they need to kill off a roughing penalty to MJ Merkel. Ian White at the quarterback position, looking down low for Coach in the bumper. They have Ritter right in the slot, back to White, puts up a slap shot, tipped out in front, and McVeigh makes the save. Motor City
shave for McVeigh there.
Black Bears still not able to exit the zone yet with the puck. Ian White putting it over for Suffredini, and now Binghamton escapes the zone, and that'll at least allow the forwards to come off. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, all 4 players getting off the ice for Binghamton. A minute 15 left to go in the penalty. Here come the Rockers. Brad Reeder crosses the line on sides. He will hold up and wait for his teammates to get into their spots. Ian White now at the point. Now they go through the bumper. Ian White now throws a wrist shot on, and they score. Tied game once again. Halfway through, and Motor City ties it up at 5.
Hey, that's going to be, I hate to say it, but that's probably going to be a suspension for Babelday. You can't come out of the ice screaming at the officials like that. It's just not an appropriate time for that. You can't hurt your team more than you already did. 3:22, he takes a bad penalty there. I just don't see that as the appropriate time to do that. I understand you're angry that they called a touchy penalty, but you can't come out of the box that hot against the officials, especially when they're down to 3.
Puck knocked out of play out of the faceoff. We're bringing it right back to center ice. 3:20 left to go, and this game is tied. And when you put the game in the hands of the officials and you know a red-hot power play for Motor City is what's coming, you just sometimes have to bite the bullet. and live to fight another day.
100%, Brooks. It is one of those times you need to get clear. But again, that has been Binghamton's problem all night on their penalty kill. They have not been able to clear the puck. Motor City's been able to hold it in the zone, keep taking shot after shot, and work their cycle.
Schultz sends his man down to the ice, and the Rockers now looking to grab the lead once again. It's been back and forth all night long as Sherman and Schultz will double team a man down low in the corner. Makima throws it to an open corner, and Anderson leaves his spot vacated. It pops up high. Anderson and Lewis now jockeying with it. And it appears that Binghamton will have control over it. Jake Schultz throws it the length of the ice. Anderson's going to try to outskate everybody. They say no icing. The official turned linesman waves it off. Binghamton maybe getting the benefit of the doubt right there as Anderson with a big hustle play skates all the way down the ice. 2:23 left to go here. And now it's a turnover coming on for Tommy Cardinal. Cardinal now skating in. Might have caught a stick up high. Boy Larson's Cardinal, though, down to the ice as Fitzgerald tries to escape the zone with the puck. Instead, it'll be Tyson Kirkby skating away for Jurich. Play is on sides for the Black Bears, but they're going to have to tag up now as they misfire. Teams jockey for it in center ice. Kirkby lays right into former teammate Brandon Contrado. Contrado playing a lot of games last year for Binghamton, and now Ross Bartlett. Bartlett trying to skate through the entire Binghamton defense, loses control of the puck, gets upended, and D'Angelo crossing the blue line with the puck right in front of the penalty box. Kirkby gets taken down, no call from the official. Kirkby just looks at the referee dressed in pink, throws his hands up in the air. That's not a way to get a call. 90 seconds left to go. An out-camp rocker at the blue line. Bartlett throws a slap shot and a toe save made by Riley McVeigh.
It's been up and down, Brooks, and, you know, this has been a hard-fought matchup all game. Spin shot by Newberg there, and it is just going to go down to the wire, it feels like here.
Ivashkin taken down right in front of the slot, and he's talking to the referee looking for a call. Binghamton needs to focus more on the play as it's still going on. A diving effort made by Colin Fitzgerald. No, excuse me, that's Brett Parker, the forward, cheating down. Backhands it to himself. What a hand pass now. Corey Sherman crossing the line onside. Drops it for Ivashkin. Ivashkin still looking for the hat trick. Under a minute left to go here inside the arena. Ivashkin throws a wrist shot blocked on the way through. Parker keeping it in at the line momentarily. Gets into the open corner, fighting for it against Giuliano. Black Bears do a good job of keeping it in. Lewis going down to the ice. Ivashkin tying up the skates of Colton. 30 seconds left to go. Maybe one final line change for the Black Bears. Babin has lost his stick. And Anderson now on the takeaway. Turns around, button hooks. Boilar throws a wrist shot in the blue paint. Lewis, wrist shot is saved. Anderson the rebound. 12 seconds left to go. This might be a buzzer beater opportunity for the Black Bears. Boilar, wrist shot, and it's blocked by Babin once again. 5 seconds left to go. Coach takes a look up at the scoreboard. Will just loft it down. 1 second left. The horn goes, and we are headed for overtime for the third time this season.
What an absolute sprint to the finish, Brooks. Binghamton had the puck around the net. They were buzzing. However, Motor City's keeper just could not stop stopping the puck. An absolute great job by him. One thing I did notice, however, at the end, he was without his stick for an extended period of time. Babin just literally could not keep his stick in his hand. And if the Binghamton Black Bears had been able to get the puck while he was without his stick, that presented a real offensive opportunity for the team.
We're staying right here for the Toyota RAV fourth period. The Black Bears are 1-1 in overtime sessions. This year, it'll be a 3-on-3 5-minute period. It is sudden victory, meaning one goal will win the game. The winner of tonight's game will have 2 points added to their team standing total, and the loser will get 1. And we will stay here as we get set. The Worldwide Sports Supply crew is staying on the ice. Ivashkin had a golden opportunity here in the final minutes once again to take the lead, send the Binghamton Black Bears home in regulation, but we stay at 5-5. It appears that it'll be Tyson Kirkby, Tyler Jurich, and Jake Schultz, the three on the ice first for the Black Bears. And it appears that the Rockers are going to send I would imagine. Oh, nope, they changed their line at the last possible second. A little bit of gamesmanship coming from Motor City, not putting their guys on the ice yet. As we get set to go, you're looking at the Heinz Energy replay through the third period. Bussell gave the Black Bears the lead, but Motor City would tie the game up on a power play goal, sending us to 5-5 on the board, and now for overtime.
I'll tell you what, Brooks, I think one of the big things that's going to be interesting about this 3-on-3 period is the tough job the officials have. There's now as many men on the ice as there are officials. They're really going to have to spread it out, cover the whole ice. We know this. Everyone who watches hockey knows this about 3-on-3 hockey. It is a fast-paced environment. Quick turnarounds on both sides can happen, and all three officials dropping and having the puck. It's going to be incredibly difficult for them during this overtime period.
Face-off won by Motor City, and here we go. The biggest chess match in all of hockey, 3-on-3 overtime. Head of speed is Brad Ritter, and boy, he can fly. They cross the line on sides. Ritter waits up for Coach. Coach fumbles it temporarily. It's in his skates, and he will retreat out of the offensive end. And that's the wise decision there. Just bring it back. And Jurich takes away his man and throws a wrist shot on. Coach looking for a rebound, looking for a call from the official. And Motor City will change their lines, and so will Binghamton. 3 new bodies on for the team dressed in camo, and the final man skating off for Motor City. 6 new players on the ice, 40 seconds in.
Yeah, it looked like Gaudette tried to sneak out there, and Fitzgerald said, no, we know you're coming.
Makima crosses the line onside, waits up, and will indirect it off the wall for Gaudette, who has returned to the game after leaving about halfway through. Centering pass out in front, but a great block by Colin Fitzgerald. He tries to tie his man up down low, trying to play the puck legally with his hand in the defensive zone. That's allowed as long as he doesn't close his hand on it. Teams fight for it down low. And out in front, McVeigh has no idea where it is, and covering the back post is Mac Lewis, knocking it away from Roman Gaudette. Wrist shot put on, doesn't hit anything, and that means Binghamton will be able to take control of the puck. Motor City quickly gets all of their guys off of the ice, fresh new bodies. Here comes Nikita Ivashkin looking for the hat trick. Ivashkin has it bounce on his stick at the last second. Choppy ice, they don't clean it in between the third period and overtime in a 3-on-2 coming the other way. Ross Bartlett at the last second, wrist shot and a big save made by McVeigh. The Black Bears will just throw it all the way down the ice. This is not going to be icing. Referee says didn't get down past the line quick enough, and apologies, that was a booming slap shot that McVeigh got across east to west. We talked about that in the pregame show. Here come the Rockers. They cross the line onside. Coach has it now wrapping around behind the net, looking for Bartlett in the slot, calling for the one-timer. Now Colton, hounded by the captain, Jake Schultz. And Schultz does a good job standing his ground and forcing Motor City to come all the way back. A partial change, 1-for-1. In comes Ian White. And now coming off the ice is Ross Bartlett, and Jake Schultz has a word for Bartlett on his way off of the ice as well. Brad Ritter back out on the ice.
One thing I noticed is, Brooks, Ivashkin could have made that change quicker if he thought it was going to be icing and it was waved off.
Ritter crosses the line on sides, drops it back for Koch. 2:15 left to go here in the overtime period. It's been all Motor City and into the catcher's mitt of Riley McVeigh. Picking it like a pop fly, and here he'll melt it down for a face-off.
Yeah, you're getting your first line out there. Your first line for is of Jurich and Kirksby, as well as Borzlar out there. It's such an interesting dynamic in 3-on-3 hockey. I think that you got to, if you're the Black Bears, win this draw, drive down to the opposite end.
Black Bears lose the draw, and Ian White has control of the puck. Drop it back for Derek Makima. Makima didn't like what he was seeing against Mathieu Boilar, and now you have the defenseman in the offensive zone. Boilar marking his man. Kirkby will stay behind, and it's going to be Gaudette skating against a forward. That is Tyler Jurich, who just misplays it. Boilar takes control over it. He has to step in front of his own net, and the Black Bears have a 3-on-2. Tyler Jurich crossing on the left wing side. Toe drags around one man, getting to the forehand, comes around the backhand. Out in front, Kirkby sends it wide. Rebound swallowed up, still available. Kirkby, a minute 33 left to go. Skating away from all the pressure. He's in the face-off dot with it. trying to get any separation he can from Ian White, but White's doing a great job holding his ground. Kirkby with it on his backhand, throwing it for Boilar. Boilar throws a knuckle puck over to Jurich. Jurich throws it out in front, and Babin holds on for dear life with 1:15 left to go.
Brooks, I think that if you can tell by Kirkby's body language, he is going to think about that one as he falls asleep tonight. There was no one between him and the net but some air and some ice fragments. Offensive zone face-off for the Black Bears. Let's see if they can take advantage.
1:15 left to go. The Black Bears win the face-off, and Colin Fitzgerald gets upended, and Ross Bartlett has a partial breakaway, but Mac Lewis does a good job of skating back, and that's the former Laker playing the 200-foot game. One of the better defensive forwards for the Black Bears, though he has his home run pass caught in half, as Bartlett now will take the opportunity to make up for the great play from Lewis. Black Bears trying to escape the zone, and now it's on the stick of Nikita Ivashkin, using the referee as a pick. Ivashkin forces his man to lose his stick temporarily. That allows the Black Bears a moment of fresh air, and now Fitzgerald skates away. It's one-on-one. He has nobody to pass to, and it jumps his stick at the last second. 35 seconds left to go. Here comes Scott Koch. Koch crosses the line onside with Ritter. The toe drags in all alone. Backhand, and maybe McVeigh got a piece of it. 20 seconds left to go. Black Bears still have some time. Anderson now carrying it behind his own net, looking for Bussell. Indirect pass off his stick. Play is offsides, and the referee signaling that this one will come all the way back into the Binghamton zone.
And ultimate irony, Brooks, the linesman waved it onside. The official who's covering for the linesman who's injured waved it off.
12 seconds left to go. It'll be Gaudet, Colton, and Makima for Motor City. Bussell, Anderson, and Schultz, the three for Binghamton.
Yeah, the officials start forcing Motor City here. Since Binghamton already subbed their players, they're forcing Coach to go back on the side. They tried a late sub with Makima.
Important face-off coming up for Binghamton. They lose it possession, and a wrist shot that's blocked on the way through. Jesse Anderson has control of it. 6 seconds left to go. Jake Schultz takes a look up at the clock. He's just going to wind up a wrist shot all the way down into the mitt of Babin. That counts as a shot on goal, and for the first time this year, we're headed to a shootout.
You know, that's the interesting thing, Brooks. Because Babin is that goofy style, because he catches with his right hand, this defender, you're used to throwing that shot down at the blocker side of the official, of the goalkeeper, trying to put it upper left corner. But because he's that goofy style catcher, it's an easy glove for save for him. You would have preferred the defender to go towards his blocker side. It's a bit of a tougher save for the keeper, but it gets into a real pickle. Do you call it? Do you know how much time's left on the clock? What happens there? With Binghamton out shooting Motor City so far, 48-35. That's a huge margin of shots, Brooks.
It's a margin of 13. Shots on goal counter done for the night. You can turn that one off. It's now a time for the first best-of-5 shootout this season for the Binghamton Black Bears. Riley McVeigh going up against Trevor Babin as the crowd tries to get re-energized here. After the best-of-5, it'll be sudden death in the shootout round, meaning you have to go toe-for-toe with your opponent. In the respective round, the home team is allowed to choose whether they shoot first or second. And normally you see it all depends on what the goaltender wants to do.
It looks like, I'm going to assume how quickly McVeigh went out there. I'm going to assume the Black Bears are going to be shooting second. I think that offers too much of a strategic advantage going forward. While you want to get ahead of Motor City and make them score, I still see the advantage of shooting second here. It just makes more sense to be the ones to get the final nail in the coffin rather than the ones who constantly have to figure out whether you're answering or not, Brooks.
And it will be Scott Koch shooting first for the Motor City Rockers. Binghamton elects to shoot second. Riley McVeigh standing in his net. First ever professional shootout for McVeigh. First shootout of the season for the Black Bears club.
Let's see what Koch has got here. He's a right-handed shot. Going to be starting out from center ice. They don't resurface the ice, so we'll see if these pucks take any sort of interesting bounce on the way to the net.
Both the referees stationed down near the goal line, the linesman at center ice, and Coach comes in with a head of steam. Slow and steady for Coach, starting in narrow, going forehand and backhand. Coach in, and he scores.
He pulled the forehand, Deke put it up high and just beat McVeigh's glove high to the right side. Great shot by Coach, and really just beat McVeigh to the punch.
Shooting first for the Black Bears, it'll be number 8, Nikita Ivashkin. Important to know this will not count for a hat trick should he score. And Ivashkin tries to tie the shootout at 1. First shooter for Binghamton. Referee blows his whistle, and here comes Nikita. Nikita going out a little bit wider, head of steam. Nikita in, and a toe save made by Babin.
Ivashkin had the hold there low against his leg, and Babin just gets the toe, just a little bit of the pad on it. There's a nice hold there for Ivashkin.
Round number 2, and it's Derek Makima skating around the blue line, waiting for the referees to get in position, blowing the whistle, and here comes Derek Makima. Makima staying in the middle lane, trying to go 5-hole, and McVeigh squeezes the legs. No goal.
McVeigh slammed the door shut there. Makima tried to slow play it, throw the 5-hole, and McVeigh just shut the door and said, no, thank you, sir, we're good.
And it'll be 17, Tyson Kirkby with a hat trick last night, trying to tie this shootout up at 1. Round number 2, second shooter for the Black Bears. Kirkby skating over the offsides dot, coming in wide, now in tight, and rings the post. No goal.
That's a tough one for Kirkby. He saw something on the blocker side of Babin that he really liked, took his shot, and just put it off the outside post. Just a hair off of a beautiful goal.
Babin gives a love tap over to the right post as he knows that Kirkby beat him, but he couldn't beat the iron. And now Brad Ritter comes in, and he has the puck roll on him at the last second. Good recovery, 5-hole, and he scores. That's a heartbreaker for Riley McVeigh as it rolls off of the stick of Brad Ritter, and he still collects it and buries it 5-hole.
Yeah, McVeigh almost overcommitted off the off the rolled puck. He almost looked like he was about to jump it, and Ritter's just able to put it in the back of the net.
Tyler Jurich now the third shooter for Binghamton. Binghamton has not had a goal yet in the shootout. Jurich going out wide once again, now comes back in the slot, and Jurich rings the post for the second time in a row. And with the goal here in round number 4, Motor City can skate home happy.
Yeah, you almost have to think the Iron is the MVP so far for Motor City in this shootout. 2 outside posts for the Binghamton Black Bears. You hate to see that in any sort of shootout situation.
Conway can walk it off for Motor City. He comes in a lot slower than everybody else has. Forehand, backhand, McVeigh makes the save. We continue.
A great job by McVeigh tracking that puck all the way through the shootout, and thinking that Conway might give him a little bit of a change-up going to the backhand.
Conway just waited a little bit too long, and now Jesse Anderson needs a goal to extend this to round 5, hoping that the Black Bears can tie. Kirkby and Jurich both hitting the post on their last shot. Anderson again going out far and wide. The lefty comes in, outweights Babin, and goes top shelf.
You know, Brooks, I think the Binghamton Black Bears are seeing something in Babin. They're going to that blocker side above his left shoulder. They've gone to that 3 different times. Iron stopped them once, Miss stopped them again, and then finally we get the bury there.
And who else than Ross Bartlett back out on the ice with a goal, sends Motor City home with the win. Riley McVeigh coming out trying to match the speed of Bartlett. Bartlett comes in and tries to go 5-hole, and we will see another shooter.
Yeah, Bartlett tries a little bit of a change up there in his own game plan, slow down the speed, and then pick up the pace right at the end, trying to get McVeigh to overcommit, open up that 5-hole, but McVeigh shuts him down.
It's the Utica Pioneer, Jamie Bussell. He needs a goal to send this thing to sudden death shootout round 6. Jesse Anderson scored on the last shootout attempt for the Black Bears, and now Binghamton needs one more to cross the goal line. Bussell comes in slow, forehand, backhand, and gets denied by Babin, and that is the ball game. Bussell slams the stick and Motor City escapes Binghamton with a shootout victory by a final count of 6-5.
I think Babin there is mad at himself. He didn't take the puck wide enough on that shot. There was a bit of an opening, and he just wasn't able to get there to get that shot in the back of the net. The fans are going home slightly melancholy here. They still get the Burger goal. They still get a 4-point weekend, but it's not the 6 points Binghamton wanted.
It's not. They do get 1 point to the overtime shootout loss. They collect 4 points this weekend. 6-5, the final count. Motor City on top of Binghamton here. Don't go anywhere, folks. The La Quinta Inn and Suites postgame show is coming up after these messages. You're listening to Black Bears Hockey on Fox 1430 in Binghamton.
That one break during the postgame.
Thank you.
Billiards, darts, and quick draw to entertain you. Don't forget about Ideal Bowling Center's snack counter for your appetite and a pro shop for all your bowling needs. Ideal Bowling Center, 119 Jennings Street in Endicott, or call 607-748-3546. Do you have a water softener? Amber Water